and I think it's going to be a long, long time. To touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no. I'm the Rocket Man. Rocket Man. Burning out its fuse out there alone. Charlotte, North Carolina, Chicago, Tampa, Florida, Miami, Dallas, Texas. I don't care where the city is. When you know the Slamcast is taking place, you know things are taking place. Damn, I fucked that up. Oh well. So much for fucking practice. I fucked up as always. It's a Slamcast. It's our Summerfest preview. Hey, I think I just came up with an episode title too. What's up with that? I'm back in the hosting chair. I let my friends take over, and yeah, we're doing it, man. We're doing it and doing it and doing it well. Representing Brooklyn, New York this weekend because that's where all the big events are going on this weekend. Shout outs to everybody who's going down there traveling to Brooklyn, which was SummerSlam has now become this annual summer pilgrimage. It's the summer major now, and it's now become this massive global,
It's the sporting
attraction.
equivalent of the summer festival scene in this country.
It is. It's for, at least for wrestling fans, at least. And
Yeah.
it wasn't always like that. But then again, there really wasn't all as much wrestling, I guess, as we got now. But so if you're getting out to one of the shows this weekend, again, take care. I sadly couldn't be there, but that's a whole other note. Joining me as always, my two cohorts in arms, Mr. Dave Wade, Long Boys Post. How are you, sir?
I'm not bad, sir. I'm not bad. We missed you last week.
I missed you guys too. Had to handle some business though. You know how it is.
Taking out the trash? Sorry.
Nick Horaceck is there manning the executive producerial duties.
Yep, and it's windy as fuck out, and the smoke has been around here like a motherfucker. Just fires around Montana right now, and Great Falls is getting a lot of the smoke. So.
Oh, I forgot about that. I completely forgot that would affect you. So we're talking like smog, yeah?
Not smog, just kind of the residual smell that's fucking up the air quality.
Carbon.
Really.
Yummy. Yeah.
Got my Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Got a little Baja Blast up in this bitch, so.
Don't drink Mountain Dew. Terrible for you.
Do you do the dew? Sorry.
I don't.
Better than the air quality right now. Hey-o!
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess that's probably the second worst thing that you're ingesting right now, other than your breathing environment. But so it's SummerSlam time, and it's been a week leading up to it. Because I wasn't around last week, but there's major news involving SummerSlam. We'll talk about that later. I'm sure you know what that major news. At least it's major news to me. I think it's major news.
At least it mixes things up in a good way when it comes to interest.
Oh yeah. That's a big thing. We're gonna talk about NXT because NXT is actually going down this week.
Oh yes.
We're gonna talk about it all. If you leave me a quick refresher, did we talk more about the weirdness of the Hulk Hogan situation? The alleged perjury? We talked about that on the show? Right, we did that.
No, we didn't. I don't know if we talked about the perjury.
We didn't? We didn't talk about that? Holy crap. So, all right, I know we weren't going to bring it up, and we went 2 weeks or so, whatever, without talking about it. But remember how I said the Hulk Hogan thing was going to get a lot weirder? before it gets a lot unweirder. Well, it looks like it's gonna get a lot worse for the Hulkster, brother.
Dig up, stupid. Sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Apparently, Hulk Hogan may possibly be facing a perjury charge for testimony given in I don't know what in particular, testimony of this trial he was given in, but apparently
Well,
there
what was
is.
the timescale of this trial, by the way, out of curiosity?
This has been going on. This whole legal proceeding
It's
has been
still a
going on
current one,
for.
is it?
Yeah.
It's still current. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's ongoing.
I thought,
Put it this way.
because after his whole, the thing that happened, that, got him sacked, I thought everyone's just trawling through his entire history now and picking at him like a, for any
No.
shit they can get on him.
Well, it's because of this that they're now doing this. Now that he is fair game, and I guess the proverbial vultures are picking at his lifeless corpse. Really nice metaphor there.
Finally, your invulnerability is gone. You are but human now.
Yeah, brother.
Really? Oh my god. And I mean, there's already shit that Hulk Hogan has done that, people are well known. And this whole racist rant thing, this has been out there for years.
The sex tape. The sex tape has been out there for years.
Yeah.
Just no one, thought to watch through the rest of it. The other 2
Watch it in
hours.
its entirety.
Yeah,
And now
that's
Gawker.
not the story. Sorry, go on.
Well, and now Gawker, because of this whole lawsuit thing, it got drug up. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's where it came. That's where the point we were at in the legal situations where Gawker had to do something to save their ass.
Yeah.
And this might have saved their ass, maybe. But this, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse for Hulk Hogan, a potential perjury charge is looming. I mean, we'll see what comes of it.
Perjury is your equivalent of treason, right?
It's lying under oath.
Yeah, we don't call it. Well, we do call it perjury. I just got confused.
So he
give
didn't
us
treason. He didn't actually sell state secrets to the Iranians.
No. Technically, still in this country, you can still face the death penalty for one thing, which is treason against the Queen.
Yeah, you can do that, in this country too, but.
Yeah, but you have the death penalty. We don't.
Really.
And also, you can go to prison if you write numbers on a £5 note, because that's defacing the Queen's face.
God. Anyway, besides the point, back to Hogan.
Yeah, sorry, but so what's he on charge for here? What allegedly did he purge himself for?
I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't even know. I just want you read the charge: Hulk Hogan, perjury.
Quick to the tinterwebs. Diddly, spinning Batman sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perjury. You're lying.
Or can you not? Can you not announce what it is because it's in a current case and therefore?
That's probably why it's not. But apparently there was mixed or conflicting aspects of his, because usually when they have you go in for trials like this, they have you recount the story over and over again, so make sure nothing changes, and something may have changed, something significant may have changed with the Hulk story.
I like to think it's from his line in Rocky 3, and it turns out that he's not the greatest living male after all.
Really?
I was just, the Rocky 3 reference got me. You got me with the Rocky 3 reference. Oh, Thunderlips. Oh, Thunderlips. That was no holds barred, I know, but.
So basically, do we think that Hogan's never coming back now?
I think. Well, if it goes to the length,
or if he gets off this, what I'm saying is just going to constantly be someone just constantly digging around in his history, and it's just going to be one thing after another, of people just
probably be like, oh, Hulk Hogan will become like the Bill Cosby. There'll be these long sense stories where we get drugged up, and people will believe everything they'll hear, and everything. Now, everything that you might have heard about Hulk Hogan now has a tinge more believability about it
Mm-hmm.
because of
Like I
everything
said, he's been
that's happened.
stripped of his immortality. He's just like
Brother.
you and I now.
He's the mortal Terry Bollea. He's no longer Hulk Hogan.
The immortal, yeah. Hulk Hogan. Oh God. Yeah, I think Hogan's run in WWE is pretty much done. He's at
I'd
this
say
point
it's
been Chris Benoit.
I'd have to say for at least for the next not the rest of his life, at least in the next decade or so, which you know, I'm not going to speculate on how long he has on this earth, but that's the guy 10 years for Hulk Hogan to be exiled in the WWE is practically a death sentence.
Yeah.
But
Truly.
I'm sure we'll continue to cover
I
this.
can't find them anywhere on the web. So, like we said, it must be because obviously it's in a current situational case. Therefore, it's not public domain.
Yeah, well, then maybe I don't know. Who knows? I don't remember the exact
Is
articles.
it just a bit sad though that a great icon is fallen to this now? Or is it a little bit more kind of sad, which is he may not have done or should have said all the things he did, even though you said they've been out in the public for so long.
Exactly. It's just why we said it before on the show.
Yeah. It's a hatchet job, is what it is.
He played his hand by wanting overplayed his hand by suing for as much money as he did, trying to bankrupt Gawker and essentially run them out of business. He forced a snake into a defense mode, and the snake lashed out and bit him, and now he's dying from the poisonous bite. When he should have just said, "Get away from me, snake, go away," he tried to say, "No, I want to kill this fucking snake with my mighty legal powers," and
soon he will be too weak from the toxin to even rip his shirt off anymore.
Exactly. Well, soon he'll be dead, basically.
So I guess then the show Hogan Knows Best, they could change it to Hogan Knows Shit.
Really?
I was gonna try and make like a All in the Family, brother.
Oh.
But that's me being a terrible person.
I could go one step further and make a Josh Duggar joke, but I'm gonna steer clear of that.
Oh, that's a whole other clusterfuck. Jesus, you want to side tangent? You want to talk about biggest fall of grace? Who had a bigger fall from grace, Hulk Hogan or Jared from Subway?
Oh,
Jared
God.
from Subway. God. Jared from Subway.
Easy, because Jared from Subway is still
that just proves.
Name.
I mean, just again, side tangent. That just proves that no one is fucking sacred. Because you would think the most wholesome, straight-laced person who nope, he's into diddling children.
He really?
I couldn't. I mean, he's not a Subway spokesman over here, but I am familiar with him. When I found that out, I was just like, "What? Really? What? Oh, fuck!"
Oh yeah.
God. Well, unless you're a right-winger Christian in this country, you could be diddling your sisters and cheating on your wife, and you'll still have people like Mike Huckabee protecting you. Josh Duggar. So.
That's because Jesus. No, it's not. It's not Mike Huckabee. It's Jesus. Jesus.
Really? Well, I bring.
Could I make a really bad joke?
Sure.
Go ahead.
What's
in all the Subway commercials where he used to show you, these used to be my pants.
Yeah.
I reckon he kept them when he was slim because he could smuggle a couple of children down each leg.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Allegedly.
Oh,
Jared segues.
Yeah, and Bill Cosby's was still a pretty big fall from grace because he was considered this wholesome father figure, and he was still doing shows and still doing comedy, and then, bam.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some contrasts to Hogan.
There's something in the air because, in this country right now, going back for 3 years, all the great sort of people you watched when you were a kid, like child entertainers on shows, they're all dropping left, right, and center. Rolf Harris is in prison. Jimmy Savile died, but it came out afterwards that he was the biggest sexual, pedophile and predator, and it's just it's like part of your childhood is dying.
I mean, definitely a lot of people's childhood died in this moment. But what's enough about that? Hopefully, we've
sad times. You know, if they are guilty, then they should burn in the fiery pits of Hades. But at the same time, it is sad that memories you share about people from when you were a kid, and you know, were important parts of your upbringing, entertainment-wise on TV. It is sad that this shit happens because you're like, no, you were above that. You know, you were supposed to be better than us. Shame on you.
Yeah, man, it's sad. It's only gonna get weirder, like I said. On to that. Let's segue onto that. Let's talk about the two big events that are taking place this weekend. First of which takes place actually tomorrow, and it's going to be live on the network. And something was said about this going into event on last week's NXT, which I'm surprised that if for how long that NXT was taped in advance, something this prevalent stayed secret in the world of professional wrestling. But Kevin Owens cut probably one of the best promos of his run in the WWE. And if you didn't see it on NXT, I suggest you do, because it was absolutely perfect. Both for him and his character, and just as a shoot promo in general. Just absolutely great. Absolutely great, because he hit the nail right on the head. And if you have noticed recently on the NXT tapings, any mention to the fact that Brooklyn is getting the next live network special over Full Sail University has been met with nothing but contempt and hostility from the Full Sail. I'd say it's even beyond that. It's like you're telling these people it's never coming back.
Oh God.
And Owens basically hit it right on the head. He said, "You're what's wrong with what's wrestling," basically.
Okay, go.
I'm not gonna obviously say word for word verbatim what he said, but I completely co-sign with everything he said.
Yeah. Well, it's sad because what's this people fear change shit?
Really?
Yeah, it really is. And if it really is true, if the Full Sail fans really cared about NXT, they would find it fucking awesome that NXT sold out the Barclays Center for their network special.
I don't like I said, I think some people become so I find something so familiar that it becomes, you know, a comfort thing. But at the end of the day, you have to mix things up, whether that's location, whether that's, you know, when you introduce new events or stuff like that. But if you just sit still and do what you always did, I guarantee these will be the same people 5 years from now who are pissing and moaning, saying, hang on a minute, you'd be doing the exact same thing or be in the exact same places for years. No, fuck off. Change is good.
Yeah, it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. You didn't create it. You're just there along for the ride. Like, the fans are literally, yes, they're a part. The intimacy in that building is one of the things that makes it so unique. But it goes to it's shown with the special that they did in Japan, or in the other live shows that they've gone elsewhere. They could take that elsewhere and get the same exact reaction, if not better.
Do you not think to some degree it's kind of a backlash from these specific fans? I'm not saying everyone, for, you know, where NXT came up, you know, sprung up in the first place, and now that it's evolved and it's got the ability to do these things, these people have a bug up their ass because they were like, no, that's not our NXT, that's yours. It should be this. It should be this. And it's like, well, no, everyone gets the right, you know, to.
I just think you know what it is. It's spoiled NXT fans that have literally gotten every live special and every taping for free. I'm pretty sure they don't sell tickets to those Full Sail events. I'm pretty sure it's just you show up when they're taping and they let you in the building. Do they sell tickets?
They might.
I'm not totally sure on that.
Cheaper price. I can look it up quick.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, they're not on Ticketmaster. Like, you can't go to the website and stuff like that. So you have to go to Full Sail and buy the ticket, probably. But oh crap, my headset's dying.
So when you say Full Sail, what does that mean compared to it's like you literally have to turn up.
It's like college versus like, you know, it's the day school. They
I
were
like that.
either. My headset, like, I just have to. I don't know how much longer I have, so.
What happens if you pull it out? You can still hear us. We can still hear you. You just wouldn't have the comfort of a headset.
Don't know what would happen because, like, I have you running through my laptop, and my laptop is in the closed position because I have it run through to my.
When I say open it, sir,
Let's
try the future.
I guess I could. Then I gotta like move my computer and. Anyway,
it's such a chore.
I know, right? Such a chore. I'm having to work to do this show tonight. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting on the couch and having.
We go to fucking Google Hangouts. You're gonna have to work a lot more. Maybe get a hairband. Just saying.
No, I'll just put a hat on. Yeah. Spoiler alert: we might go to Google Hangout. That's maybe coming later.
Maybe
We'll see. But yeah, I just think it's them being entitled, spoiled wrestling fans complaining about it. They're not getting it. They should be happy that this thing that was theirs is now, being accepted by
everyone.
Everyone. Center, a professional.
If anything, because it's growing, that they should be happy. But because that brings more opportunities to the what they love, bigger budgets, bigger arenas, stuff like that. It's not a bad thing. So I don't understand when I go, no, you must stay like you were when I fell in love with you. But that's counterproductive to a business, and that's basically what it is. It's a business.
Well, it's also shown the popularity that NXT has gained in the last, year and a half, 2 years. It's gone, from, WWE's developmental territory where, Seth Rollins and all those guys got, basically broke into WWE in a sense. They learned the style and everything. Well, now it's expanding. They did the one taping in, I believe, Ohio, Cleveland, I think, Columbus. It was the Columbus one that they did. It was like the Arnold, whatever it was. So there was that, and then now they've been doing live events for WrestleMania weekend, and now we got an actual takeover. In a sense, their pay-per-view in Brooklyn in a big arena like this. So it's grown to.
It's a testament to someone else kind of picked on something that was lacking from this sport or sport entertainment right now.
Competition
started. WWE.
Competition. And that's what it's actually become now. And I could actually grow into seeing it. And Triple H said it this week. He doesn't envision NXT or being a talent being shipped back and forth from the main roster to NXT as a promotion or demotion. He wants it to be a lateral move.
Do we think, however long it takes, that at some point it will be?
He's very close to getting that. Put it this way. I mean, if Kevin Owens is able to do both, I see. And I'm going to have a problem with something that's mentioned earlier when we get into the actual, beef of the matches. Yes, Kevin Owens I have no problem with, but something else I do have a problem with, people going back and forth.
Plus also, though, if it does become, the a main viable, alternative, that's only good for wrestling as a whole. Because no one company should have a stranglehold in any sport or anything, or even movies, comics, whatever like that. No one company should have a monopoly, if you will. That's the word I'm looking for. Because competition is good, because it makes people have to try that little bit harder and keep their A game. And who, wins from that situation? The fans and the people who watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all in it, man. I mean, and because of us that they're willing to do the things that they do in the ring to impress us. So if there's more fans there, they're probably more thing. Can you only imagine what we're going to see in the ladder match tomorrow between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's also with NXT. I watch main roster, and it's like there's no consistency, no continuity in their damn storylines. On NXT, it's like, what the fuck? There's actual continuity. There's actual storylines. Everything actually makes sense.
Smaller, sample size in the product. NXT is a 90-minute program where Raw is literally twice that size, 3 hours. So
Yeah.
things get lost in the shuffle. I think competition is good. It's going to see both sides step up their game, because look at already what the Divas, bringing up the three Divas from NXT, has done to the Divas division. It has people talking about it. Granted, what they're doing to me doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Kind of like doing this kind of like Mean Girls, kind of like faction warfare kind of trade-off thing, but whatever. Go for it. It seems to be working. People are talking about it. Now on to, do you want to talk about the actual meat of the card? Because there's some great things. Obviously, the one thing that I'm pretty excited about on top of the Balor Owens ladder match, and I think you pretty much know where I'm going with this one because we talked about it a little bit before. Jushin Thunder Liger is making an appearance on NXT.
Yep.
Holy crap, that's a thing that's actually happening. I'm all in favor of it because I think Tyler Breeze is the perfect, kind of foil to have introduce Liger to the WWE, a super face kind of character. I mean, the fans that are going to be at that NXT show, they know they're going to know who Liger is, obviously. So I expect a warm welcome to the Japanese legend. I think we can call Liger a legend at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
20 plus years. So, yeah, totally.
2 decades. Not something to raise your nose at, for sure.
2 decades. 2 decades going strong with the same character, doing pretty much the same thing routine-wise wrestling. Hasn't changed a damn thing of this guy, even though the guy's like 45 now. Unbelievable, incredible, stupendous. Cannot wait.
Well, let me put it in perspective. Most people I know don't even have cars that are 2 decades old.
No, and here's Liger, who's been doing pretty much the same routine for about 20 years now. Incredible.
We tilt our hat to these, sir. Plus, also incredible when you think about it, because many athletes and many sports and stuff like that. But look at 2 decades still going strong, and look at the damage you must have taken along the way.
Now I know other people. I think people are thinking like, but Brandon, Jushin Thunder Liger works for New Japan Pro Wrestling. How is he able to do that? Well, little Jimmy wrestling fan. I don't know why with this weird existential portion, but fucking follow me on this. Jushin Thunder Liger.
I like to think that Jimmy is a real person, by the way, sorry.
Yes, he's a real person in my mind. Jushin Thunder Liger, on his downtime or time when he's not booked to work a specific New Japan show, is allowed to work any place that will pay him.
Oh, so he's got a no strings attached contract then.
He's contracted to New Japan anytime he wanted to go. He's got that deal. He's on the New Japan roster.
But he's not throttled like some people, which is
He's not bound to everything. Like August, he's free a lot because August in New Japan, or I just finished it, and I'll do my brief 5 minutes on New Japan maybe sometime later on in the show. August is G1 month for New Japan, so that's the G1 tournament taking up the bulk of their programming time and the bulk of the spots on their shows. He's got some time off, and now that we just finished G1, and now they're going to start transitioning into the Wrestle Kingdom build now, I guess. He's got a little bit of time off, so perfect time for NXT to come in and bring him in, because I think, I might have said this on the program before, but I'm going to reiterate it again, I think he's going to be brought in as an introduction to the WWE.
Uh-oh, we lost Brandon.
God, not going to say its name. God damn you,
Don't.
people's name I can't mention. His headphone battery died, didn't it?
Yeah.
We may like wrestling people, but
And
we never
I
said
think what
we
he's
were
trying to
good at.
say is this is WWE really introducing Liger to the newer fans who may not have
To the
seen.
WWE universe. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Am I
You
like?
sound like
good?
you're in the Batcave, but it's still good.
it works.
That's. Hang on, I gotta mute myself. Mute the.
I have to
and
say
you guys-
though, like on what talking about this guy and what you said, Nick, which is, I like this that he's not completely tied to something. I think that would be good for the sport in general. If more wrestlers are allowed to jump around between, products. Why should they be, for all intents and purposes, to make a football reference, benched in the off season? If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Who
this
wins
is
from
just
that?
the
No one
perfect
wins
time
from
to
that.
introduce him to the WWE universe while he can still wrestle. So they're not just like Fujinami. The WWE network probably helped Tatsumi
Was a part of
Fujinami.
this a reward for the fact that he's been such a long-serving, invalid member that it's kind of like, you know what, you've earned this, sir. You've earned this.
Hmm. I mean, and Liger did
Exactly.
wrestle in WCW. He's been. I think Liger's popped up on a few different
In the
WWE
early
sets.
'90s, he was on the WCW. But again,
Right.
a lot of people watching wrestling now are A, going to remember that, and B, a lot of them
Or newer fans who may have started watching in the last, 15 years, or
you'd have to be really hardcore dedicated to go back and watch some of those early WCW things to watch where Liger was on it.
and not watch something ironically like to go back and watch the Chamber of Horrors match, things like that.
Or the great Shockmaster for a while. Oh God.
Yeah, but cringeworthy's
He
good
fell right
because
on
at
his
some
arse.
time you could look at it and just look at where people are now and just go, well, you know what? It had its place.
Or you can
At the
just
time.
go back and just watch the train wreck that is WCW 2000. Oh my
I
god.
don't recommend you do that.
I watched a few of those, and it's funny because the talent that were on some of the
But
shows.
did you find it as cringeworthy back at the time? Because
I never
that's the point I
watched
was
it.
going to make, which was we all look back upon certain things and think, oh my God, and you bite your nails and think, oh, this is awkward to watch. But
Well,
at the same time, if you put yourself in the your mindset, the perspective of the time that it appeared, it kind of blunts it a little bit.
well, I look at it now, and it's like, yeah, it was that bad then. It is now, I think. I mean, my God, you had Vince Russo at one point win the title. David Arquette was champion. You
Yeah,
had
I'll
Judy
give it up.
Bagwell
And
on
I
a
still can't wrap my head around that one. When I was still a newbie to this, when you guys told me that, and I went back and watched it and just went, how the fuck? What?
Well,
Holy shit.
and I said it before. At least there was a point to Arquette. It failed, but there was a point to
They
it.
tried
And he
something.
didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be champion. He basically got forced upon him. But Russo, there was no point whatsoever in a booker, a writer, winning the damn title. So it's my 2 cents. But Liger, I mean, he had him. It's funny enough because we have Samoa Joe on this card facing Baron Corbin. Samoa Joe had a match with Jushin Liger about 10 years ago at Bound for Glory in TNA. So, and that was
How do I even sound right now? Because
You sound fine.
Sound fine.
you think so? You guys aren't picking up.
No, dude, seriously, you just sound like I do if I don't use a microphone.
All right. Because
And that's not a bad thing. You sound fine, so shut up. Stop worrying.
I'm mad sketch about like.
And happy birthday, by the way, Brandon. Sorry, people, inside joke.
Whatever. But yeah,
But I think this is a perfect time to introduce him while he could still do his thing, and it's going to be good to have Tyler Breeze do something.
I mean, Tyler Breeze is just one of the best characters on NXT. I love the whole gimmick. He's got the damn selfie stick. He's got his live streaming his entrance from his phone.
You know what he needs to do? He needs like a pretty posse. He needs his own faction. That's really the one thing that he needs to really complete that character.
Yep.
But yeah, all right. So just you want to go right into predictions? I think they're not bringing Liger in just to lose, to put over Tyler Breeze.
So you say it's
Tyler Breeze does Tyler Breeze does gain something
from at least looking real strong against
exactly.
Magician
No,
Liger.
not even looking strong, but just even stepping in the ring with Liger, and if he's even reasonably capable, he's went toe to toe with a Japanese legend and won. But it is WWE. They could have just paid him to come in and win and lose, and
And I
that's
don't
it.
think Liger would be the guy to be against doing the job for somebody.
No, I don't think he would either because he's a consummate pro.
He's a professional.
But I don't think it makes sense for what the plans they have for him.
Him to come in and lose.
Yeah.
Pull a Sting and come in against Triple H and lose.
Well, Sting's not going to the Hall of Fame yet. Like I think the reason why they induct Liger now is because they need to fill that international quotient of superstar, and who else is there?
I think it's safe to say it's going to be a credible fight.
It's going to be a good
exactly.
match.
Tyler Breeze. Liger is one of the few.
I don't doubt that he'll, that person's going to lose, but I do think it will be handled in a really, really good way, and it will be, as I always like to throw around, a Rocky 2 style fight, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. He'll give it everything. He'll lose. It'll be in such a manner that it was not possibly he could have done it, but credible, and he slogged his guts out, and he was a consummate performer, and there was real sort of effort in the performance that he gave, if that makes sense. It's not going to be a whitewash.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be a squash at all.
Right. It's not going to be your usual 30-second Baron Corbin match, or it's going to be more like Cena's open U.S. title challenges, where they look really good, and, there are some cases where, Neville, Rusev came in, cost him the match, and then I think Owens came in, cost Rusev a match at one point in one of those, so it's going to be less of a Baron Corbin squash and more of a John
Could you
Cena
say that it's credible
challenge.
in the sense, or it's going to be credible because they've moved on and they've learned that going that route is not necessarily what people want to see anymore. You turn up for a fight, you don't turn up for,
Yeah. And
we knew what was on the cards.
You're really good. The new fans are really going to see what Liger is capable of.
And he's not just a mythical creature bred for his skills in magic. Anyway, so yeah, I think Liger wins. Maybe there's some shenanigans, but I think Liger wins ultimately in the end.
So.
I say Liger wins, but there will be a guaranteed moment where he gets rocked, and to give credibility to the other individual.
And it's going to look like Tyler Breeze could do it. So yeah. So I'd say we're all on the consensus.
Yeah, and I think it could make sense. What could be really good for Tyler Breeze if he has like this existential crisis moment in his career, because it's kind of like he's entering in this weird phase, like where I don't think they're gonna really push him. He's gonna be NXT's Dolph Ziggler. I have a feeling, which it's kind of wrong to put him in that position, because I think could be somebody that gimmick could translate onto Raw or work well, but. Until that time, like, he's not going to be in the main event picture. He's not going to be contending for Balor's belt.
Well,
maybe even just as a placeholder until Itami gets ready, because I've said it before. I've said it again. That's the next big NXT feud right there.
Itami Breeze?
No, Itami Balor.
Oh, okay. Why am I thinking Breeze?
Oh, yes.
I'm thinking of that moment when Tyler Breeze knocked out Itami on the stage, and he's trying to do the selfie, and then Itami stands up with that look, I kill you now.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
To quote Austin Powers, kill him a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man, this is...
But going back to what Brandon said, though, there's nothing wrong with someone, who's established or whatever, having that moment where you constantly think that they're just going to carry on as they are, and then they throw a curveball at you, and that person gets knocked down. That's good for the fans, but it's also good for the individual because
I'd just like to see that. I'd like to see Tyler Breeze go through that kind of existential crisis, like you see Tetsuya Naito is going through the same thing right now. He kind of like going through this homeless kind of gimmick.
Because then you get the whole recovering champ trying to reclaim his glory and shit, and I know that's based upon how alpha male and stuff like that, but that shit's good to watch.
So here's an idea I've heard tossed around before. What if NXT got its own like mid-card title and you call it like the Dream title or something after Dusty Rhodes and Tyler Breeze?
I mean, if you will, that's not a bad idea, baby. But I just think you should call it something else. Like bring back the TV championship from WCW, baby. People love the TV championship.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Okay.
Don't call it the Dream.
So what you're basically saying is it's 2/3 marketing, but 1/3 execution.
Yeah.
Basically, give it a shit name. No one's going to watch it.
Yeah.
No, but I agree with you, Nick. I think that that NXT is quickly needing that
enough of a big brand
title
for that.
It's become a crowded picture now.
Oh yeah.
Are we saying it needs to break out from what it is, even though it's slowly doing it? Which is, it needs to. And I know it's going to piss off all, who was it you called him, by the way, Brandon? Jimmy?
Jimmy's, yes.
Yeah, little Jimmy wrestling fans, which is, we know where it started and where it built up, its adoration from the fans, but it's moving, it's growing.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly now it's time it needs bigger events and bigger titles. Nothing wrong with that.
It's to bring it back to that, it's outgrown the Full Sail stage. Now, Full Sail will always be its home, yes, and they'll always
want to hear that, but it has.
It's absolutely.
Isn't that the same of anything that has success? Which is, if you get success, and I don't mean about the money, but I'm going to say, if you get success, you start getting in more money, you start becoming more and more popular, then from any perspective of any company or anything around the world, not just sports or anything like that, you improve, you move forward. You don't just sit in your corner. I'm not saying they do that, but you don't just sit in your corner and carry on as you did, because you have a chance to go somewhere else. And I think anyone who runs any business that is going to sit there and go like, well, where are we going to go next? Let's move forward.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
Sorry, Jimmy's.
Well, speaking of NXT, look at the NXT guys that are going to be in WWE 2K16. We've got Balor in there. Tyler Breeze is in there. We've got Charlotte, Sasha Banks. So this
is a big deal, though.
Yeah. So this NXT brand has grown from this little developmental territory to, in a sense, a third brand, because these shows are selling out all over the country. They've sold out the Barclays. So yeah.
You know what else is going to be a big deal? Speaking of the Barclays Center, and it's another match that I kind of wanted to talk about, and it is just, it strikes me as something that like they need to give these guys something to do. This is a match that's taking place on the actual show on Saturday, right, Nick? The Enzo Amore.
Oh yeah, this 8-man tag. Yeah, Enzo Amore.
A big 8-man tag team match because nobody else has anything else to do.
Colin Cassidy, Zack Ryder, and Mojo Rawley against Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, Scott Dawson, and Dash Wilder. Yeah.
Watch the Barclays Center go indiscriminately crazy when Zack Ryder comes out.
Mm-hmm. Well,
holy crap!
First of all, Enzo and Cass are going to be over like a motherfucker.
They're going to get a big pop too. But
Zack Ryder. Oh my God.
Ryder's going to get the biggest pop of the night, I think. Yeah. Ryder might get even bigger pop than Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm. I mean, first of all, I think it's a crime that Enzo and Cass aren't, fighting for the tag titles, because you imagine the pop they would get if they win those fucking belts. In that, anyway, that's just another argument. But
no, I mean, I kind of agree with you, but the NXT tag team titles is too many tag teams. It's the complete opposite of what's going on in the WWE.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's only 4 tag teams.
Oh, really? So you think maybe they're saving them for the Raw after, and they're bringing those guys up?
No, I don't think that. I just think that Zack Ryder's going to get a big push, big pop.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night when he comes out in the Barclays Center.
Oh yeah.
Huge pop.
I mean,
Ryder chants will be in full effect.
Yeah, I mean, he did commit the biggest crime in WWE. He got over on his own. Oh, God, that drives me nuts. I remember that when it was a promo on Raw when I think Ryder was the U.S. champion and Bryan and Punk were both holding WWE and World Heavyweight titles. And you saw this group of champions, and then this is gonna be an interesting match.
Thought it was the future, man. Thought it was the future.
Yep. Nope. But my God, but like Jason Jordan, Chad Gable, they've been building these guys up for a while, and I mean, at least in NXT, we're seeing a lot more tag team finishers, which is something that's kind of a lost art, but in main roster. But
no, it's definitely something that was a lost art. Yes, absolutely, because in the '80s,
everyone had one.
Exactly, the Rockers, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, all of them. They all had
Foundation, British Bulldogs,
but who was a big part in bringing it back, and I might give them a little shout out later. The Young Bucks, big help in bringing that back.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you like it or not, people, whether you like it or not, wrestling fans, Young Bucks helped bring that back.
Out of curiosity, right now, because
NXT's
going so strong.
in 2016. Anyway.
No, I was going to say, out of curiosity, since NXT's going so strong right now, how does their merchandising compare to WWE?
I mean, they do about the same. Now that it's now available, you're seeing it a lot more because it's this new thing.
Well, that's my point. Was it not always available? It was no, you're the training camp. You can't have this shit.
No, it was only like a few guys had shirts, and now it's where
only a few guys had brand strength, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
it was once they started bringing in a lot of this influx of talent to the brand is when you saw everybody have a shirt.
Right.
Now.
I mean, I'm wearing my Kevin Owens shirt right now, my Fight Owens Fight. I've got the NXT Our Evolution and the Rival event shirts in my closet. So you kind of see where it's gone. So
Well, here's my thing, and I'm maybe call me a male chauvinist pig for saying this. I have a problem. Not a problem. I think it's a little weird, maybe, with a man wearing a shirt of a diva. see a lot of guys when on Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks and all these other divas Twitter posting and retweeting pictures that men send them of their shirts. I mean, Becky Lynch's shirt, we documented this on the show, the shirt that says "Lass Kicker."
Yep.
Yeah. No.
Greatest way to get or easiest way, I should say, to get a restraining order: buy a diva, wrestling shirt, put it on, and cut holes around your nipples. Guaranteed restraining order, right there.
It's also an easy way. I think it's an easy way not to get laid is to wear a shirt of a WWE diva. Like, I mean, it's wearing a wrestling shirt and trying to get laid is a trying to like thread the needle anyway. Very few folk can do it. I've never been able to do it.
Yeah.
But no, maybe I have done it once. But it was
not entirely the same thing. But I was quite surprised and kind of impressed with humanity, which is after he passed away, and I was generally really gutted because, like I said I left the post on the wrestling forum when Roddy Piper passed, and he was a big deal to me because he was the guy I loved even before I was in wrestling. Then I discovered he was a wrestler, and it was like, holy shit, this was amazing. I don't know if you've seen it. It might be an English exclusive, but the Rip Roddy Piper shirt. I wore that out one day when I just simply went to get a KFC, and 4 people came up to me and just went, "Love that guy, rest in peace." I'm like, holy fuck. I'm in KFC, and someone said that to me.
The brotherhood is out there, dude. I mean, just to think, if I wore my Bullet Club shirt to the ROH show tomorrow, how many 2 sweets I would have gotten just from random people that were not. Hey, man, we got the same shirt. 2 sweet me.
I saw a few people wearing the Bullet Club. At least saw 1 or 2 of them when I went to the wrestling event here a few months ago. I mean, there were people, they were wearing everything. I saw Sami Zayn shirts. I saw, actually, one guy came in my work. He was wearing the good, the bad, the ugly one. It was, the Cole Cabana, CM Punk, Cliff Compton one. So, but yeah, you see they're all over the place, so.
We're tangenting, though. We're tangenting.
Starting to, yeah.
Yeah. So, back to the card. Enzo and Cass, I think that team is, obviously booked to win. This match is booked with the heels have absolutely no shot. The heels are basically there to
Fodder.
make the pop for Enzo and Cass and Zack Ryder, and then try to get Mojo Rawley some residual rub on the side.
Right.
Just to get them over. The heels have no chance.
Yeah.
Enzo, Cass, and Team Stay Hype. Is what they call the Hype Bros.
The Hype Bros.
That's what they're calling themselves.
Yeah.
They take the win, man.
Right. And
I think we're all in lockstep in agreement with that too, right?
Yep. I mean, we've got did you want to talk about the Fatal 4-Way Diva match?
I do, because I mentioned it earlier, and I have a problem with this. I do. I have a very big problem with this because, and yes, it was brought to my attention that it's not going to air on Saturday, but the fact that it's taking place on Saturday is what confounds me even further.
So wait, what? They're going to record it as part of all the other events and leave it out of the bill.
They're filming stuff for their next taping for the next NXT after.
Wednesday.
But that's almost a slap in the face, almost to me, that you think, well, I understand your promotional marketing and stuff like that, or you want it in this event, but from a perspective, if I was the individuals involved or the athletes involved, I'd be looking at it and just going, what, you don't think we're good enough to be in this? I know it's not that, but do you know what I mean? Like, leave it in the event. It was in. Don't edit it and make it.
I could
see where you're coming from. It should be seen live, is what I'm trying to say.
I could see where you're coming from, but it's still, your point doesn't address my initial issue with it, is the fact that Charlotte and Becky are going to wrestle alongside Paige in this big three-team diva, tag match that they've been building up for once. That's supposedly this Divas Revolution that's going to revolutionize the way, we view women's wrestling, which in some ways it has, but it's going to be this, revolutionary thing. They're going to be on a team one day, but the day before, they're going to be fighting in a match competitively against each other.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. No, I completely agree, which is...
No, just I mean, if they have two Divas matches...
You get your ass kicked by someone, then just how much the next day can you...
Here's what you have, this lovely point that I was just about to make. They have another Divas match on this card. That's a one-on-one match. Why not just slot them two in it just to give the girls the extra night off? I mean, I understand to give the hardcore NXT faithful what they want.
Right.
You got to make some sense out of your booking, man. That just makes no sense to have these two girls tag team one day, the day after they are fighting each other.
That's like having a competitive qualifier in the World Cup. One day after you had a testimonial, if that makes sense. Like,
exactly.
Your emotions are going to be all over the shop.
Yep.
I'd love to know the individual's thoughts behind doing this, because how he,
Yeah, I want to know how they're going to explain this. I really do. Like, I mean, obviously they're going to have to mention it in the match. Like, there's going to be a point in time when Becky and Charlotte are going to go for the same pin, and then they're going to have to, take out each other at some point in time. It causes cracks in the team. They can't be believed that they're all buddy now. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I love you. We were awesome, but tomorrow I'm going to kick your fucking head in.
Yeah, I can't wait to team up together with you tomorrow night in the biggest match of my life on a Summerslam pay-per-view. But
you know what's really odd, though? Now you've said this, I'm going to have to watch both just to see how it plays out, because my brain just thinks, how can it play out?
Because I want to see how this gets explained, because they have to do something to explain this. This is just too obvious for them just to go, oh, yes, well,
we were so good together, I thought, why not see who can pair pull the best?
It's too obvious for them just to be like, oh, yes, no, now all of a sudden they aren't as good as friends as they were. They're going to play competitive respect for each other. Like,
is it not just basically, them not them, but, the promoters basically just going like, hey, this might work. Let's try and explore possibility of a new gimmick we can use later on down the road.
No, I think it literally is hey, we need to add some juice to this match and get these other two girls over.
Well, yeah, because I know if... Because the singles match you're talking about is Carmella versus Eva Marie.
Yeah.
So,
I mean...
Baby, I don't know. Whatever.
Look, I mean, I've said it before. Eva Marie is going to be a Divas champion, whether you like it or not. She's gonna. It's Eva Marie is going to be, fired from this company, or she's going to be a rampant runaway success. One or the other. There's going to be no. She's not going to Dolph Ziggler. She's not just going to be a lifetime.
Well, maybe this whole event will bite them in the ass.
So yeah, either Eva Marie is going to end up proving everybody wrong and ended up doing really dang good in the ring. She's going to be, somewhat competent, and Brian Kendrick will have done magic, or it's going to be a total failure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's walking the boards, but I would like to say or hope that she will, because otherwise this is an exercise in futility.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
and they've wasted all this time and screen time on something that was not worth it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. All right, so
yeah, we've want to get to the main.
The other, while we're on the subject of women, we might as well talk about it because the big Divas match that's going to take place Saturday, I think, is chock full of narrative and all sorts of psychology. As Bayley finally goes for the WWE or the NXT Women's title. I've said it before. Bayley reminds me a lot of the female Tommy Dreamer. I don't know if this is really the time when she gets to the mountain, or they save it for a time when she's going to be in her hometown, and gets that.
I think this is the time to pull the trigger. This is the time to.
You think it's the time to pull the trigger?
I think so because
could it be the segue match before they actually pull the trigger? If that makes sense. Because people don't like to pull the trigger, straight away. They like to build and build and build and build and build. So I don't know.
I think if you build it for too long, I think it's gonna kind of peter out. I think this is the time they built this story that Bayley's come back from injury, she's beaten everybody, and now it's a one-on-one shot. I mean, I picked Bayley. Oh my God,
it's filled with dreams.
Right,
if you build it, they will come.
I picked Bayley in that Fatal 4-Way, by the way, if you remember that. That's when I thought they were going to pull the trigger. But no, they've built it to a point where, when she wins that title, if she wins, in Brooklyn, she's going to get a huge pop. This is the time because I think Sasha Banks...
So what you're saying is if they don't pull the trigger on this one, all the hard work they've done is just going to be, the fans are just going to be, oh, fuck's sake.
Well, right. And I think Sasha's on the main roster too, so... But...
Yeah, but if you have her lose to Bayley the night before she's supposed to be on a pay-per-view, she doesn't look strong at all. That's not making her look strong going into this match.
Okay. So, and I'll bring this up because I was seeing reports that Kevin Owens and Sasha Banks were on it was a future NXT taping, and they both had their titles. So you think that was just WWE not wanting to spoil the results from Takeover, or
that's interesting?
Are we actually going to see Sasha retain and Kevin Owens become a 2-time NXT champion?
I think if Kevin Owens has the belt, then yeah, he's probably winning the title.
But does that really make sense that they would win it because they tape them in advance like this? Does that really make sense because then in that case they
give away no, it doesn't make sense to give away the ending of your supposedly your big
Never
show.
Stop Lucas. Sorry.
It's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Well, since it's pre-taped, I'm sure I've asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again. Since it's pre-taped, can you because you have different gambling laws than we do, but can you actually gamble or bet upon NXT and WWE?
No, you can't. They don't let you bet on professional wrestling in America.
I was just curious because of the whole, pre-shot or pre-recorded shit.
Believe me, if I ever find a 100% reliable source, and I'm surprised that none of the people that work in the WWE don't actually do this, or maybe if they do, there's a way to get fired. But if I did become to the WWE, work for the WWE, and became into the inner circle and found results, I would absolutely pass bets on to you.
I like to think you look like I can see you in the back room now with a cigar hanging off your bottom lip and all this money on the desk.
We would have our own, have our own codes and stuff like that. But yeah, I would. Absolutely. For a 40% share of the profits, absolutely.
Damn.
Oh my
Anyway,
god, you pimp.
So back to this whole thing. So I would hope that it's just WWE doing this so they don't end up giving away their two big title matches on the card. But then again, it's WWE. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, this probably is. It probably is because if these tapings are tapings and they're set in stone, so
because it could be they end up doing something else.
Where like Owen steals the belt from him or something like that.
That or it could just be something that got filmed and then they end up not using it or whatever. I just hope it's them really protecting the finish of these matches.
Oh, I do as well, but do you wonder if that when they pre-record, more so than this, like a couple of weeks in advance, that please WWE don't tell me you have screenings and that's what makes you decide whether or not you put the pre-recorded matches into circulation.
Right. I know, and this is a different thing because they're in Brooklyn right now for this, and usually because they've always had the Full Sail takeovers on Wednesdays, and then they did their tapings after, so there hasn't been a problem. It's because of this different schedule with it being on Saturday, and that's just what kind of makes me nervous. I still say Bayley's going to win the title, but not as sure as I would if you asked me about 3 weeks prior. Said it's going to be Bayley, Sasha Banks. Bayley's winning that title. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I fully believed that now is the time to take the belt off Sasha Banks. She's transitioned very well to the main roster, and you can put the Divas title on her tomorrow, and I wouldn't have a problem with it.
But they won't because they're gonna make Nikki break AJ's record, and
because fuck you, AJ. That's why.
Because this company's petty as fuck. That's why.
Our politics are more important than your politics.
Yeah.
Just play along.
And again, it's funny because they think they're getting into the craw of AJ.
Let's talk about the big enchilada in NXT.
Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I'll go for a piss. Been drinking a lot of Pepsi Max.
Well, do we want to go over Apollo Crews and the Baron Corbin Samoa Joe match in the tag titles quickly, or? Because I do want to say, because it's Apollo Crews, Ty Dillinger, and Dillinger's basically getting that CJ Parker spot.
Yeah, no, obviously Crews is going over in his first match.
And I just want to bring that up because CJ Parker is retiring.
He's retiring?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I know he left WWE on good terms. He wanted to go out and into the independents and try and spread his wings, but I guess he figured that, I don't know if it's big, I haven't heard it's because of any big injury, because he's having one more match here, I think, next week, I believe it is. But yeah, CJ Parker's decided to hang up the boots, so best of luck in your future endeavors, man. It's unfortunate, he actually was really good in the ring, he broke Kevin Owens' nose.
What I always said about his gimmick was he followed the IRS method of getting heat, which he got heat by telling people something they should do anyway. Like, take care of the environment, recycle.
I do find it funny, he's doing that in Florida, where they deny climate change and the people in power are fucking
science.
idiots. Yeah, so it's kind of funny how that works. But
it's funny. Funny.
IRS, man.
We wish him the best of luck.
Yeah.
It's a shame he couldn't go any further with that. But I mean, if he's retiring at this age, clearly he shows that he doesn't have the drive and desire to be.
And maybe he feels that he's not going to ever get above a certain level, so
get
exactly.
out
while his body's still.
It's not a fault of the guy for trying. Like that's the smart thing to do. Why waste your time and get beat up if you honestly feel that you're never gonna make it to that point and you don't believe? So why work
put your body through that? Yeah.
Spend your energy trying to do other things that actually make you happy. So good for him. So the whole enchilada, this big ladder match that's taking place.
Well, so. Well, I mean, we've still, Corbin, Joe. I say, what do you think?
Oh,
Joe
yeah,
wins,
Corbin. Keep on. trying to push it. Look, I mean, I think the veneer of superiority has faded on Baron Corbin. Samoa Joe is not going to destroy him, but Samoa Joe's going to make him look tough. But Samoa Joe's going to win in the end.
Okay. So you think we're finally going to get it's going to be the first big clean loss for Corbin, because he really hasn't. The only time I remember him being pinned was in that match against Neville, and that was because Bull Dempsey cost him the match.
Yeah.
So
I think it is. I think you'll see Samoa Joe take him to the limit, and then
Coquina clutch.
Exactly. So it's going to be all over.
Okay. Blake and Murphy versus the Vaudevillains. Vaudevillains have been saying they have a counter for Miss Alexa Bliss, who, my God, she's so damn hot. But besides the point, you think it's because they've introduced a blue pants shirt? It's gonna be Miss Leva Bates, or
I would believe it. I would love it to be Leva Bates. I've made my undying affection for Leva Bates on this show many times.
Classy and respectful, unlike Bernie.
Classy and respectful, totally, as always, as I do with all the women that I bestow my undying affection towards.
Yep.
Classy and respectful as always, not creepy and leery like some people.
Hey, in my defense, I've stopped doing my page creepy.
There's no defense for you, sir. No defense.
Yeah, remember, you're the one that lives closer to Ricky Knight than us. So anyway,
yeah, exactly.
That's why I
you live on the same island as that dude.
Yeah. Anyway.
A very small island too, by the way.
It's not that small. Actually, it's that small. That's just me defending myself because I like my face.
It's just you trying to make yourself feel better. But we have,
help sleep at night, sweetheart.
So you think it's going to be the time that Blake and Murphy finally drop the belts, or you think?
You know what? I'm really not totally sure about this. I think
it's kind of a toss.
It makes sense for them to drop the belts, just to have somebody else hold the tag team titles and to ping pong it back and forth between them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was shocked when they won the titles from the Lucha Dragons.
If I'm like the Vaude, totally sold them the Vaudevillains being my tag team champions. That's how, like, I mean, I like the gimmick, but I just Blake and Murphy are a more believable tag team. Mm-hmm. I guess. So I don't know.
Say the Blake Alexa Murphy factor, BAMF.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty.
Oh my. Yeah.
She's real pretty. Yeah. She's got a real pretty jaw.
What does that even mean? She's got a real pretty jaw.
She got a real pretty mouth.
She eats steak well.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I'm trying not to go creepy with it.
Slim Jim. Sorry.
Yeah, I say, the Vaudevillains get the counter for Alexa Bliss, but Blake and Murphy retain.
Yeah, I think we haven't seen the last of this feud. Yeah. That's ultimately
because
what I think.
They retain. I agree. I completely agree. But I guarantee there will be some shocks in this one.
Now, if Enzo and Cass were in this, you bet for damn sure Enzo and Cass will win those goddamn.
Oh yeah, no, it's in that building where they are with their gimmick. There's no way they don't win it.
Right.
But they're not in the tag team titles. But
it's the Vaudevillains, which I like. They're a great team, but
again, yeah,
it's a placeholder feud. I'd say at some point, if Enzo and Cass are not getting brought up, I'd say they end up winning the titles somewhere down the road, and they get their revenge. And
I think that
so it's a setup. What you're saying is it's going to be set up for another feud or continuation of a feud.
Yeah. It's, in a sense, kind of that placeholder match for, this run before Blake and Murphy finally drop the belts.
It's somewhere to put your beer on something nice to stop it staining the table.
Right.
It's a coaster.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not going to be a bad match. That's for damn sure. Blake and Murphy have shown they're a really good team. They do some great things. I don't know if I can... I mean, you've had Alexa Bliss just outright go up and just slap, English and Gotch multiple times without them doing anything, because it's the chivalry. They would never.
They're gentlemen.
They will never put their hands on the woman.
Yes.
And oh, like I can't hate, but it's like funny because if this was, 10
You said
years
the
ago,
English were gentlemen. I mean, hello.
you.
One phrase. Soccer hooliganism. No one said we were gentlemen.
Anyway, but yeah, if this was like
I am.
10 years ago, I think we would have seen Alexa get dropped at some point, but it's not happening. So I'd say they get their counter in for Alexa Bliss, but Blake and Murphy retain.
Yeah, good call.
All right.
Yeah, I think this again. I haven't seen the end of this.
It's going to be a big fat slapdown, though. It's not going to be a complete straight walkover in the park.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be some shenanigans and tomfoolery, I think, in this match. I think if any match is going to add some levity to the card, it's going to be this match. Expect a lot of outside shenanigans with Bliss, and if it's going to be Miss Bates,
and
I expect a lot of that. Shenanigans and chicanery, man. I expect it.
And there you go, by the way. There's the new latest t-shirt I'll be making. Brandon says, outside shenanigans.
Yep.
Slamcast on the back.
Really?
Shenanigans and chicanery. That's the...
Alexa Bliss looking smoking hot on the outside. So.
Yeah. I'll put pictures on the sleeve.
Anyway, finally, it's
all about that shenanigans and chicanery, man. That's what it's all about.
So finally, we've been teasing it for a while. Balor Owens ladder match.
Big enchilada. This match is
second ladder match in NXT history. The first one was Bo Dallas.
See, that's really interesting in itself.
Title. Yeah, because they don't do these gimmick matches often. This is really the first time. I mean, this is the first time it's been a year and a half since they've done.
But is this because it's this now they are directly trying to compete with
I think it's because they don't abuse the shit out of.
So it's still fresh, is what you're saying.
Yes, and I mean Neville and Bo Dallas. I mean, yes, Bo Dallas was NXT champion.
I thought you said Bauer, but if that other bloke can win it from TV Land, I'm pretty sure Jack Bauer could win a wrestling match.
That was NXT champion for 10 months or whatever it was, before Neville came up and beat him for the belt in a ladder match.
See, I gotta lie. Sorry, not. I mean, I don't want to lie, which is obviously. Well, it's been 18 months now since you guys sucked me into this disease that is a good disease. Don't get me wrong. There are worse diseases such as herpes and AIDS, but it's a good disease and you sucked me in. But maybe it's because I'm still going through the massive wealth of stuff. I gotta say, I really, really enjoy and love ladder matches.
Oh man, there is an excitement involved. There's always that sense of danger.
It's just insane, and that's what I want in a ring. I want insanity.
I mean, and you get goofy moments like when King Booker pulled out a step ladder in at WrestleMania in WrestleMania 23. You've had things like Big Show has had his big colossal ladder because this fat ass, this big bastard isn't getting on a regular ladder easily without it breaking.
Is it wrong that when I watch a ladder match, I don't know where this came. Well, I know where it came from now. Thinking about it, angry video game nerd playing. Don't worry, this tangent will make sense. Playing Amazing Spider-Man on the 2600. Every time it's really tight and close, and you see someone climb up the ladder with two blokes chasing him, my brain just starts saying out loud, "Getting to the top, climbing to the top, getting to the top, getting to the top, getting to the top." Oh no, fail!
Oh man. Anyway, yeah, I get the reference, but. And I mean, these matches.
But no, I like them. Like I said, I find them really, really, really exciting. The last one in WrestleMania was the one that just fucking blew my little shiny tits off, and then I went back to the WWE Network and watched as many as I could, and just went ladder matches.
Did you watch the one from Armageddon 2006, the 4-way tag team title ladder match?
I did not, but I'm writing it down on a pad right now.
One of the Teddy Long specials. I mean, come on, it's a tag team match player. It went from a regular tag team title match between Dave Taylor and William Regal against Paul London, Brian Kendrick, and then this card already had an Inferno match between Kane and MVP. A last ride match between Mr. Kennedy and The Undertaker, and now Teddy comes out, books this ladder match, adds the Hardys and MNM, Mercury, Nitro, and Melina. And this is where Joey Mercury gets his nose broken by a ladder. Like, brutally. His he had to get taken to a hospital. His face just swelled up, couldn't see out of one eye, broke his fucking nose. It's a hell of a match, but man.
Awesome. All right, so when I think ladder matches, obviously the one I compare it to is Razor Shawn. Oh, wait, did you lose me?
No, I can still hear you. I gotta hold
on.
on.
Okay, we lost Dave, though. That's what we lost.
Oh, fucking... The gods we shall not mention have struck again.
It's like they don't want us. It's like they don't want us to do this podcast.
Oh God! But so you're talking about Razor Shawn.
So Razor Shawn, I don't think this is going to be Razor Shawn, revisited. But when you look back at this match 5 years from now, you're going to see these guys. Wow, they're going to do some stuff that you're going to surprise that they're allowed to do in the era that we now currently inhabit.
I mean, we're not going to see, Steen package pile drive.
No.
El Generico onto a ladder type stuff, but these guys, there's going to be some shots. There's going to be some things that are done that, I mean, we're not going to, SummerSlam 95, we're not going to see them try and adjust the belt 3 times. I remember that.
I love that, I love Attitude or pre-Attitude era Shawn, just when he was just an angry person. That Shawn was my favorite Shawn.
Man, anyway, but
yelling at referees, good times. But I think we are going to see a match that we will be talking about for the rest of the year.
And I think
maybe the best ladder match of the year.
Maybe. I think we're definitely going to see one of the best NXT matches of the year, and with the quality, the show is.
I swear to God, I didn't mention his name. Honestly,
neither did we. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, Brandon was just talking about, compared to Brett and Shawn, or not, Shawn and Razor. With this,
Yeah, I just think it's going to be one of these matches that we're going to be like, wow, this is a pivotal or seminal ladder match or a seminal match in this time period of wrestling.
Right.
I think.
Because everyone looks so fondly, back at WrestleMania 10 between, Brett or... Why am I saying...
And how both, like I said, even though Razor Ramon won that match, Shawn Michaels stole the show.
Right. I keep saying Brett and Shawn because Brett and Shawn technically had the first WWE ladder match.
The winner of that match, whoever comes away with the title, isn't necessarily going to be always the person that's going to have the best career.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I still say,
I think Balor is going to retain, even though, yes, we know your
these
alleged,
reports. Yeah,
tapings. I think Balor retains, but I think Owens puts on an absolute wonderful show.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what? I'm going to call it the other way.
Really? Owens? Say we have a first-time NXT
I say Owens. Champion? I don't want to say cheap win, but I don't mean cheap win like that. But I mean last, stroke at the pie. That makes sense. Kind of like WrestleMania, which is, I think it's going to be really, really tight, really, really close. And I'd like to think, just for me, that they flick a dime in there and make it a little bit interesting. And I can see Owens snatching it, not in an outright victory. Like you said,
shenanigans. Ref gets knocked out. Say Balor comes down with the title.
Sami Zayn makes a comeback.
He may not be the strongest wrestler in the match, but I could see on the cards that he would win. If only to rile up the fans for the next event, if that makes sense.
Yeah. See, yeah, it could be. Owens gets the title back, but because let's say Ref gets knocked out, and Balor does come out with down with the title, and then. Boom! Pop-up powerbomb. Owens swipes it, and
I think there will be some dirty moments in this.
Yeah, I mean and I'll compare it to this finish when Christopher Daniels first won the X Division title back in 2005 when it was like that weird 4-person match. It started off like a tag match and it went to a triple threat and then a one-on-one Ultimate X Challenge is what it was. And it came down to AJ and Daniels. And then AJ ended up coming down with the belt. but Daniels came in, ref was out, boom, Angel's wings, and then, you know, Daniels has the title, and then he ends up winning it. So,
Like I said,
similar
I'm
to
just
that.
saying, it's happened before. I'm just saying I wouldn't, call it outright the other way because it's on the cards. It's completely, possible that they may, like you said, go with that's our new catchphrase, shenanigans, and it will be, well, not a cheap win, but the other individual will put in the better fights, but the person who wins may not be, how shall I say this, the one that who deserves it, although technically they do, they're going to put themselves into this frame anyway. Much respect for them, but I really wouldn't write Owens off on this one.
Okay. I'd say Balor retains just because.
I'm not gonna make a bet with you that involves any money though.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You know who's the real winner in this match? I think
us,
the fans.
The fans. I mean, my God, we had they had Balor won the title in Japan. They had that great match. Owens doing some of his best heel work yet in WWE. Goes off the ropes and then just drops and does a rear chin lock. I hate the stupid country and everyone in it. Like, just great heel work. Throwing the flowers down before the match started and things like that. I think he's really gonna turn up, the fight. This is gonna be a fight. He's not
I thought this was America. Isn't this America? Sorry.
Oh, Randy Marsh, everyone's favorite weird dad.
But yeah, we're in for a very treat. So moving on to the next day, main event.
Summerslam.
There's so many tag team matches. We talked about this. Nick made the mention earlier. Teddy Long.
This is the Teddy Long Wet Dream pay-per-view. I mean, I said it's a Teddy Long Rumble because we had 2 or 3 different tag matches, but we have 4 different tag matches on the show, and Brock Lesnar's going 1-on-1 with The Undertaker. We literally have every Teddy Long trope in one pay-per-view.
we have every Teddy Long cliche in one pay-per-view. It's
holla holla holla, player.
In fact, you could say this pay-per-view is going to be Teddy Long.
It is going to be Teddy Long because it's going to be 4 hours long. Jesus Christ, almost as long as this podcast.
Do you know what we should do? Just a quick idea, and possibly when we save it for Google Hangouts, which is. And obviously, we'd have to mute the matches, but with WWE Network, so we can all get it, and syncing up might be a little bit difficult, but we should actually watch one of these events and commentate over it.
Figure it out. That's for future problems.
Future possible plans. Logistics.
Right now, we're going to have a Kickstarter to buy Brandon some new headphones.
No, I'll just give me some money.
Give me some damn money.
I'd give you a Manchester United shirt, but you didn't want it, and I'm pretty sure you can't use that to listen to wrestling. So, my hands are tied.
Anyway.
All right, so
many tag team matches, I don't even know where to begin. Let's talk about the tag team Fatal Turmoil elimination. It's an elimination match, right?
Fatal 4-way tag team match. Are you talking about the
tag
tag titles?
Fatal 4-way.
The tag title match?
Part of the tag title match.
Okay. So, champions, primetime players versus Los Matadores versus the Lucha Dragons versus the New Day.
It's difficult to call.
What'd you say there?
I said it's really difficult to call for me, this one.
Yeah, I agree. But here's the thing. I'm going with my gut. And I say the New Day has been great heels. It's their turn for another run with the tag team titles, and
okay. New Day.
Let's see how this works.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with kind of the dark horse in this one. I'm gonna say the Lucha Dragons take it.
Ooh, that's very dark.
Sorry.
I know it's funny because I should bring this up randomly, but they are in WWE Supercard now, so yeah. Maybe I don't know. I'm just rattling off crap, but I'd say that I go with the Lucha Dragons. I
was just going to call them because it would be such a shock.
I'd say it'd be cool. They were NXT Tag Team Champions, so Blake and Murphy beat them for the titles on an NXT taping, which shocked the hell out of me. I mean, then that goes to show anything can just happen on a random NXT.
And I just like watching matches when they win, and I turn around to my mates a few times, well, all of the 5 times I got them to watch it with me on when I projected my computer to the big TV, and just went, yes! Who wants to high-five me? Lucha!
Yeah, I'd say this is gonna be a good match because it's not like any of these guys are slouches in the ring. The New Day have proven they've been great heels. It's 3 great talents. Primetime Players have been a great tag team. The Lucha Dragons are a hell of a tag team.
Yeah. Well, you know what, right? Everyone's let's not lie. Everyone's written off the Lucha Dragon. They're not saying they're not going to do, good in this, but everyone's written them off in this. So part of my kind of wiring in my brain is when someone writes someone off, my brain goes into underdog mode. I'm like, no, not like you said. They're very, very, very solid and good wrestlers. There's no reason that they shouldn't win this.
Right. I mean, well, think about it. If you remember, I picked Bayley in that Fatal 4-Way Divas, NXT match when Sasha won the title, and Sasha was kind of the dark horse in that one, too. So I think I'm not going to screw myself over twice. I'm going to say give the dark horse the Lucha Dragons. I'd say there's no chance in hell of Los Matadores winning those titles. I mean, I like, the Colognes, and, they're great.
Why can't I bet on this sport? Because if I bet with all the underdogs and they actually come up with like 50-1 odds, I'll be a millionaire.
You'll be making that money. You'll be making more of that fuck money than the Virgil's making. Who I think is, by the way, that's...
it's all about the fuck money, bro.
Yeah. But let's not forget, people, as well, that, with stuff like this, these events, that there will be at least one, match that you could not call. Right, we're calling it, but I mean from the mainstream, which will be there as a shocker, if that makes sense. And the person you did not think was, they do it in every event. So why not the Lucha Dragons, I say?
Yeah, I mean, and if they play their cards right and they build the Ascension up to be a very dominant force, maybe they set up that feud and, bring that feud that was on NXT.
I think, you know what, I really hate to say it because I was really high on the Ascension when I first saw them, basically. But shit is.
I think so.
I think they're gonna have to just start demolishing people, and like literally the tag team division is gonna have to clear out, and they're the only last team staying.
So you're saying it literally have to Goldberg the fuck out of it?
I mean, put it this way: they've already put 3 teams ahead of them. At first it was Cesaro and Kid, which made sense. Then the New Day, which also made sense because these were also some already established talents. Now they're putting the Primetime Players ahead of them as well. I don't know.
By the way, Virgil's GoFundMe still at $410. It hasn't changed since last week.
That's a lot of fuck money, though. Still.
Yeah.
$410 could get you a lot of fucks. I mean, it's not a lifetime of fuck money.
Oh, hell no.
That's still good enough fuck.
Hell no.
It's good for one solid weekend.
Yeah. I remember I brought it up last week with Dave when we recorded, and it hasn't changed a goddamn thing. Oh, such a jabroni. Anyway.
Are we learning yet?
Anyway, so yeah. Are we done talking about the tag titles?
Yeah, I think it's the New Day's time, man.
Okay.
I stand with Lucha, and
they're finally letting Big E do more with a microphone. I've been a huge fan of Big E for a while.
Oh, did you see the picture of him creepily looking at JoJo?
Oh yeah, he's again his Big E has, I've said it before on the show, just subtle charisma that he's not gonna be this big bombastic personality. He's gonna do these subtle things that are gonna make you laugh.
And Big E's a great talent too. He's another guy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not what you expect. He's not the traditional WWE,
But he's the
loud
things
mouth
that Vince likes. A big, jacked up, strong guy.
Who's funny.
Yeah. It's everything Vince wants. I mean, color of skin shouldn't matter, but
Big E's funny. He's more quirky than
funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
That voice that he
well,
does to do the New Day voice, again, that's not his natural voice. He doesn't talk like that. He's
it's the
putting
old
on.
cliche though, isn't it? Which is
TD Jakes.
personality speaks bags, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you want to break this up a bit so we don't go like 4 straight tag matches. Ryback versus Big Show versus Miz. This is what we're supposed to get at the last pay-per-view, but Ryback staph infection and
Yeah, and I'm totally wrong, and I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. I thought Ryback was done and not going to make SummerSlam. Ryback showing some Wolverine-like healing factor and is back and ready for SummerSlam.
yeah, I'd say I'd say Ryback retains. This is which I would have predicted anyway for when they did this the last time, but this is gonna be Ryback retaining, and what we got out of that was just Big Show coming out and just knocking Miz the fuck out because he was running his mouth, and that's what I think Miz does.
Have you ever
best.
noticed that Big Show and Mark Henry have never been the same alignment at the same time?
Oh my god! And with how
They've
many
both never been. I think maybe I could be wrong in this, but they both never been heel at the same time, and they both never been face at the same time.
Oh my god!
They always sort of seem to alternate, it seems.
With how many times Big Show is turned, that's shocking.
I mean, in the last year alone, it's been like 3. Anyway,
it's a cross the streams moment, is what you're saying.
Wait, I think pretty sure Big Show just turned again. Anyway.
Oh my god! Breaking news! Big Show turns again.
No.
So.
I heard that he's so good that he's the only person allowed in this country to turn right for a red light. Boom.
Okay, so are we consensus Ryback?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, I'm gonna just be backhanded Ryback comments. I'm surprised that and shocked that he was able to heal up fast enough. This is the least interested I've ever been interested in a intercontinental title match at SummerSlam, because I literally give no fucks about this match whatsoever.
Okay.
That being said, I think Ryback's still gonna win.
Okay, Dave.
Ryback.
Okay, we're in agreement on that one.
Period.
Right,
Let's be honest. It was never going to go any other way.
I don't want this. Why Daniel Bryan? Why aren't you Intercontinental Champion? Why?
He's set
because
to
the
come
gods
back.
do not favor our choices in wrestlers.
Because I guess
fair,
Booking thinks he's a B+ player.
It's not fair, man. It's just not fair.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's never going to get it. It's think about it. It's showmanship. It's building your audience. He will get it. I guarantee it.
I mean, that moment at WrestleMania when Bryan won the world title, that was a moment.
That was it, though. Like that's all we're gonna get. I don't know.
I don't think so. I
don't mean to get off my Daniel Bryan soapbox, but
Well, at least he's another guy that married a very attractive woman in Brie Bella.
Exactly. Hit a home run.
For the record, I do find Brie a lot more attractive than Nikki. I don't know. There's just something more real about Brie that.
They're both very attractive, but
there's just something that's more real about Brie that attracts me to her more than Nikki. Can't really put my hands
we
on
had this conversation before we actually started recording that's a perfect example of a guy like that does not get a girl like that without professional wrestling.
Yeah, we brought this up.
If Daniel Bryan works at a farmer's market or does whatever lumberjack or something like maybe he's a lumberjack, maybe that's a cool job, but Daniel Bryan works at
birds love lumberjacks.
Or Daniel Bryan works as a barista.
Yeah. I mean,
Daniel Bryan doesn't get Brie Bella.
I mean, Miz married Maurice,
Exactly. Miz is tending bar in Cleveland. Miz isn't getting Maurice.
Layla's retired because she's getting married to Ricky Ortiz.
Ricky Ortiz is another one without wrestling.
The rally talent guy,
like Layla.
Things like that,
Sorry.
Did we bring some? I don't remember if we brought some. Oh, maybe Mike Bennett and Maria. I don't know. Maybe. I felt like we brought someone else out.
Yeah, without wrestling, Mike Bennett doesn't meet Maria. So
yeah, Okay.
By the way, that clip that
I have a really
that has
quick
been
question. It's a
posted and
slight
shared
tangent.
over and over again.
Oh God.
Good God.
That
How?
ass.
First of
Good
all,
God.
Right.
first of all,
Ugliest wrestler ever to get a really fit bird. Call it.
Who? Wow.
No,
This
who
is
do you
funny.
think is the ugliest wrestler ever to end up with a really fit bird or a diva or even a sports star, Olympic star on their arm?
Let's keep it strictly to wrestling. My God.
Punk.
Oh, there you
That
just
was
called
who
me.
else I brought up. AJ Lee.
Brock. Yeah.
Oh God. My God. See if it. Actually, we
our Lord
brought
and
that up
Savior can
because
just
I
take
think
whatever he wants, so.
CM Punk and AJ Lee probably would have. Maybe it's if they met and it wasn't because of wrestling. I
In
think
a comic book store. They meet in a comic book store. That relationship is believable.
Boom. Exactly. Because they've got so much in common and they're kind of they're so much alike. It's in a sense scary, but
Sounds really gay, my nigga.
I like to think in an alternative dimension, like comic book, DC and Marvel star, that like a Playboy bunny ended up dating The Rock,
in Earth
and she
617.
yeah, and she knew nothing about wrestling, and she walked up to him, and he's in his spandex and shit, and she puts her hands on him and just goes, "So why are you called The Rock?" And he looks at the camera and does that weird Roger Moore eyebrow thing.
oh God.
Let me tell you, slam.
Anyway, that was
Sorry.
a tangent, but so let's go to the Wyatts versus Dean and Roman. This is Harper and Bray against.
Yeah, again, this is another match where I just genuinely don't know. I'm actually interested in this match because of all of the participants involved, but I don't know where this is really going. Like, I don't see this.
It's going to be an
honestly,
absolute slugfest. It's going to be people just
gonna be good.
beating on people.
Yeah, I'd say we've got Dean is in there to help make Roman look real strong.
I will call this. Whatever happens in this match, I guarantee it will be towards the end. It won't be a steamroller. It'll be just people beating the living piss out of each other.
I'd say this is because this is a continuation of the Bray Roman feud. I'd say
is this a no disqualification match or is this just a regular tag match?
Just a regular tag team match, playa.
Oh, boo! This should have been no disqualification because it would just have been a bloodbath.
Oh God, what if you put Dean Ambrose in a no DQ type match? Well, look what he did in that ladder match. Look what he's done. He's just nuts.
Yeah. We've often talked about wrestlers that need a governor slapped on them. Dean Ambrose is one of those people.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins is definitely one of those people. Jumps off scaffolds.
No disqualification or not, I do honestly think that this match is going to be absolutely fucking amazing and just people slogging the shit out of each other, and the amount of beating all the participants take is going to be through the roof. And I fucking love it. I guarantee you I won't take a piss through this match.
Oh,
no, and I'm going to be glued to my seat, too, because, again, you got two people. You got another person that's like, sort of needs a governor on him, or else he would probably kill himself in the ring doing something stupid, is Bray Wyatt. So you got, this is going to be, I think, the match that not a lot of people are talking about, but I think...
It's good.
Which I don't think's fair.
All said and done.
Because I would put this up as one of my highlights. I don't understand why it's got such a lukewarm reaction from people, and they're like, "Oh no, it's going to be good," but
it's a mid-card feud, and when you have Undertaker and Brock Lesnar at the top, and John Cena and Seth Rollins
title for title
main event.
Oh no, I get that, but it's just you look at this match and there's going to be a massive amount of fucking pounding on each other.
I mean, wasn't it last year at SummerSlam we had that? It was the lumberjack match between Seth and Dean, and they ended up brawling all over the freaking building. The lumberjacks couldn't keep these motherfuckers apart. I believe that was.
Was that when Seth jumps in someone's car?
Are you
like
Seth? So what?
Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of Extreme Rules.
You're thinking of Dean and Harper, I believe.
Yeah, Dean and Harper.
I think this is going to be the underrated gem of.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'd say,
I think
it's going to be Roman and Dean getting the win, but Roman gets the pin on Luke Harper.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make
I'd call that as well.
Possible, obviously.
Yeah, they're not going to get the blow off, Roman getting the win on Bray until later. So this is just a placeholder.
I just think, after this event, I think this is going to be the match that people look back on and just go like, all right, it wasn't top billing, it was mid-card and shit like that, but I think this is going to be a match that people watch and just go, holy shit, that looks like it hurts, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
man.
Okay.
I think so. And I think because this match is going to be so awesome, this next match is going to have to take place next. It's going to be the Divas match just to cool down the crowd.
And give us our piss break.
Yeah, I mean, at least the entrance is...
Not so much this time, though, I would say.
Hold on, we've got... there's 10 matches on this card. We've got Randy Orton, Sheamus in the why do they keep putting these guys together match? Are they just giving them something to do because these guys... I don't care match? I really don't care about Orton Sheamus.
Yeah, you know what? I completely I don't care. I care so much about that match. I completely forgot that was even viewed as even still going on.
Perfect. Who gets the win? Do we get RKO out of nowhere, or does Sheamus?
Yeah, it just makes sense to keep Orton to have as much momentum as possible.
Yep. And it's not saying that Orton's a bad talent, or
no,
Sheamus
and I'm not saying Sheamus is a bad talent either.
It's just a match that no one really cares.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
I do. I kind of really like Sheamus.
I like Sheamus too. I think he's a great performer.
Yeah.
I just.
I mean,
I don't know what to think about this.
If he gets buried in snow, you'd never be able to find him. You'd never be able to find him in a snowstorm type thing.
That's very value the brain he of you, Nick.
Thank you. Oh God. Oh, he's still alive. Cancer has, wrecked him, but he's still kicking. He's still got his sense of humor.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my God, he's Deadpool.
Oh my God.
I didn't want to. I have my thoughts, but
anyway,
keep that to myself. Yeah.
All right, so let's see So we take a match. Let's go to a singles. I'm just bouncing around here because there's so many matches on this card, and I'm trying to.
Yeah. Dolph Ziggler, Rusev.
Yeah, let's go. I was going to go to that one. Ziggler with Lana versus Rusev with Miss Summer Rae, who, by the way, is again Summer is really hot, and so is Lana. Good God.
Yeah,
Ziggler?
No, I think Rusev wins.
Really?
I really
you think
do.
we get Rusev?
I think Rusev wins. Yeah, I just Dolph Ziggler makes him look impressive, and Dolph Ziggler's going to do some stuff that's going to be like, wow.
He's going to bump around like a motherfucker. He could sell a Christmas tree to Cole Cabana.
Exactly. That's a good one. I like that too. Man, that's two.
God, I'm on fire tonight. Wow. So you think Rusev, you basically miss Lana and Summer Rae basically cancel each other out, and it's just going to end up being down to those two guys, in a sense?
Yeah. I think Rusev wins the match, but Lana gets the final say just because they're obviously building Lana to be, a force in the future.
Right.
She did that
the face of the Divas in a sense,
Oh. So we're like maybe they use some sort of underhanded tactic to take out Ziggler, and then Lana gets back and takes out Summer Rae at the end of it.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Rusev's another guy that has got a really hot woman on his arm.
Yeah, exactly. If
wow. We are on, wow, it's funny how we go on this tangent, but in a sense, that's just, bringing that up. So, yeah, Rusev, I agree with you, Brian. I say we get Rusev wins, and Lana gets the final say.
Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, no, I call Rusev as well, but
okay.
I would like to think that, it will be a fight.
Oh, no, Ziggler.
I can't see Ziggler and the other people going down like fucking fairies, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's, Ziggler's going to do what he does best. Lana's going to do her thing. Summer Rae's going to do her thing. Rusev's going to be beating on Ziggler, but basically the two women are going to cancel each other out, and it's going to end up being Rusev.
Ziggler has what I define as
nice steak dinner. Sorry.
Okay.
Ziggler has what I call the fighting spirit. So even in matches that he loses, he's still going to go down, guns
swinging,
blazing,
yeah.
make you believe that you think you can
still retain his face, if that makes sense.
I don't know if I think I mentioned it before on this podcast, because remember how everyone thought Kenny was going to be the breakout guy from the Spirit Squad?
Yeah, I know, right?
Went from
totally
being
weird. Now Kenny's
caddy.
doing independent shows.
Yeah, Ziggler went from being the caddy to Kerwin White to male cheerleader to big singles guy, big singles star. So,
I mean, what some people
He's
believe
the man of the people.
The best worker on the roster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, get to another tag match. Play it. Stephen Amell and Neville versus Stardust and King Barrett.
I love this match. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
And if you would have asked me 6 weeks ago or whenever the build started this, I would have kind of been like, iffy on this. But, I mean, I wasn't iffy on Stephen Amell. If there's any celebrity, like we talked about, I mean, we were kind of due for that big celebrity appearance in wrestling. If there's any celebrity that I believe and fully, like, trust as a wrestling fan to like, you know, I would actually believe this guy could actually get in there in the ring and kick ass, it's Stephen Amell. They hit the nail on the head perfectly. I mean, short of Ronda Rousey, yes, but
I don't think we're gonna get that.
Stephen Amell is the best male athlete best male celebrity they could have gotten.
Which is why he'll lose. Because that doesn't make a good event. I call Stardust.
Okay, so, and with how hard Stephen Amell's been working to put on something, I mean, that's why this is a tag match. You've got Neville, Stardust,
obviously
and King
he's not
Barrett
going to
all
work
in
the
there.
whole match. He's you know, he's an actor as well, so he's, you know, could probably work a routine. They're going to give him a few basic spots that he'll work out. That he's probably working out tonight and, you know, this whole weekend. And, you know, I think given 3 days of rehearsal, he can absolutely put on
the best, you know, job he's possibly going to. He's not going to be, you know, some big classic tag match, but
they're not exactly.
Yeah, when you've got
I'm not
Neville,
expecting him to put on a wrestling clinic,
right?
Like, you know, chain wrestling and everything else like that. I'm expecting one or two quick spots. They'll teach him the basics on how to sell and how to, like, you know. I'm not even expecting this match to be the traditional tag team match where Stephen Amell gets the hot tag and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be Neville getting the hot tag after Stephen Amell takes the heat. Like I said, they're going to teach him the basics, how to take the heat, and then work out something for him.
And remember who he's in the ring with. It's Stardust, King Barrett, and then he's teaming with Neville. So,
but does this mean, because of what you said just, Brandon, which is this isn't going to be a match that goes, you know, the full length? It's going to play to his strengths and peter out halfway through, if that makes sense, or that's when they, you know, it gets called. You get what I'm saying? Because I can't see it going the full length. I really can't see it going the full length. And I would still like to say I'm probably wrong on this because the way, you know, you summed up the other guy, but I'm still going to say it's going to go the other way. Just saying.
I'd say it's going to be, you know, Neville and Amell getting the win. I think that's
they're not bringing Stephen Amell into this just so he can lose.
Right.
No, I know, but you know what I'm saying, which is, you know, like they, you know, build them up and stuff like this, which is, you know, this is a full match. Is he going to go full length? No, I don't think he is.
No,
really
Stephen Amell is going to do like maybe one or two spots, maybe, and they're going to be stuff that he's going to work on heavily. Like he's not going to be improvising.
They're going to be classy spots. I know what you mean. Like they're going to be like, you know,
he's going to be the one getting the heat, and then, you know, Neville's going to get the hot tag, clean house, and get the red arrow and the win. I think we're definitely going to see that red arrow.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't doubt for a second in a heartbeat it's going to be a really great match to watch, but it feels ever so slightly kind of unnatural in the sense that the way it's being built up, I can't see it being like a traditional match. It's going to be playing to the strengths of the individual who's not fully in the ring with the other people. That makes sense. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's going to be their big celebrity appearance, and it's going to be a celebrity appearance done absolutely right. All right. So,
which, if he wins, technically is unfair because then he's winning because he's their big celebrity appearance, and that's not fair.
Well,
Just my two pennies.
Technically, it's unfair because he brought the Green Arrow. So,
yeah.
He brought the member of the goddamn Justice League.
Shit. So, Dave's got
fucked.
Stardust and King Barrett. I'm taking Amell and Neville. Brandon?
I'm taking Amell and Neville because
Okay.
you don't bring Stephen Amell to SummerSlam and not have him go over. But
I tell you what, Brandon, right? If Stardust wins, will you buy me a Liverpool shirt?
No, because I don't have that kind of money right now.
Shit. All right, so...
Oh, boo, because if you call it right, I'll buy you a Manchester United shirt. It just has to spend 3 months at customs.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about you buying it. I was talking about you just buying it and then I would PayPal you money.
No, I'm talking about a friendly sportsman bet right now.
Well, I don't have enough money to be making those friendly sportsman bets.
Well, then you could just make a video when you say, I completely concur with Dave that Liverpool are the greatest football team in the world and Manchester United is shit.
No, I could never do that.
Yeah, that's not happening. So can we ready to get on to another singles match?
I had one thing I wanted to say about this lovely bit of creative that they're doing. I've said my piece before. I've kind of been iffy on the Stardust character. It's had some really good things. You can't say Cody Rhodes is being lazy with it. He's definitely going
full bore 100% into this damn character.
Yeah. This week, he's turned the corner and he's, ascended to another level of greatness. Yeah, I think he's finally found it. The promo, he has telekinetic powers!
Oh my god, he's an X-Man.
Holy shit.
If you saw the promo that I'm talking about on Raw, Wade Barrett and Stardust are cutting a promo together. Wade Barrett is now the Cosmic King. I don't know how greatness. I can't explain.
Okay, I'll go watch it after. So basically,
I'm just saying, don't write off Stardust. That's all I'm saying.
And Brandon's basically saying he's starting to fall for the character. He's turned the corner, and we're getting so.
I've turned the corner because the way Cody Rhodes is delivering his promos with the conviction. You can clearly tell that he's into this and he's having fun. And they gave him telekinetic powers. He lifted a cape.
Basically, they've said he's bankable, so they're giving him that extra foot the rope, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I can't wait. I hope Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes remain a tag team because we've seen that's Cody Rhodes gets some of his best work in tag team wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you what, right? If I call this right, will you at least put on, because you got long hair, will you at least put on makeup?
No.
You're such an asshole.
I only make cash bets, and right now I'm cash poor, so.
All right.
It's all right. You can owe me. Sorry.
Oh my god. All right. So you're ready to get on to the next singles match because I'm basically breaking this. There's so many goddamn tag matches on this freaking pay-per-view. It's unbelievable. So Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Kevin Owens. I just think his momentum is too strong. Not to avoid. I think it's going to be a good weekend for Mr. Owens. Okay. Win, lose, or draw, what happens tomorrow?
I think Owens is going to steamroller this one. Just saying.
Really? You think it's going to be a squash? I don't think they're going to let
hell
Cesaro
no.
squash.
Hell no.
No, I do. I really do. Because, talking about what I said before, which is you need these surprises and stuff like that, but based upon what people think about these wrestlers and their, momentum and shit like that, you're going to get quite a few surprises in this. And look, I'd say, he calls it.
Look, it's not last year when Cesaro was going into that 2 out of 3 falls match, and then he said something that people were sick of, Cena versus Orton, and then he went 27 match losing streak, and he lost 2 straight falls in that thing. This is gonna be an easy candidate for show stealer.
I disagree, right? I think he's going to get slapped around for a little bit at the start, but I can honestly say that I think he's just going to, come out and get fucking, can we say his name anymore? Hulk Hogan mad, slap his head a few times, and steamroller this. Michael?
I think no matter what happens, the crowd is going to be white hot for this match. I think no matter where you put this match in the card, the crowd reaction you're going to get is going to be amazing.
Okay.
I think the action in the ring is going to deliver. I can't pick a winner, but if I had to pick a winner, and that's why I'm picking Owens, I just think
I'm taking Owens.
It's going to be a good weekend for him.
Yep, win, lose, or draw. This is going to be a big Fight Owens fight weekend. And I'm wearing the shirt right now, so that says something. Badass shirt, too. Anyway, ready to get on to our wonderful Diva match that isn't the piss break? We have
Divas Revolution, bro.
Yes.
All about that shit.
Team Bella versus Team Bad. Naomi, Sasha Banks, Tamina versus Team PCB because we had to quickly find
we fucked up our original name.
Yep.
One of our writers watches fetish fucking porn. Team
Exactly. Yeah, me and Dave got into this last week. How they
he thought no one would notice. Team. How much longer can I run this gag?
I'll tell you what, though. Here's my next T-shirt I'm gonna make, by the way, which is, oh my god, a Divas match that's not a piss bake. There you go.
Well, it's not this isn't a piss break. This is if you're sitting at home watching wrestling by yourself, take your dick out and masturbate.
Oh my god.
If you do that too much, Brandon, you will go blind.
Well, I mean, I must not be there yet.
And it's bad enough that you can't talk with your dodgy setup right now, so if you're blind, oh my god, you're Daredevil.
Look, we've got one of my, diva crushes on one team with Sasha Banks.
God, they're all in this match for me, bro.
Oh, Sasha Banks. Well, sometimes I wake up in the morning and think about your lovely face, and you're not there, and it's not fair. And then I cry a little bit.
God, she's
a little creepy.
Anyway.
And then I roll over and go back to sleep and think about Paige. By the way, Paige's dad, you didn't hear that. Shut up.
Again, you live on the same island with her, not just her dad, her entire family.
Yes,
and it's a big family too.
I mean, and then we've got Team PCB.
It's right. I'll make him a cup of tea, some cucumber sandwiches, and we'll all be friends. Job's a good one.
Speaking of,
don't think they're the cucumber sandwich folk.
The the Knight family. We have the Mother of Canaries, Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch.
Look.
See, this fight's not fair because I want to call it on a wrestling stance, but I'm gonna call it on. Sorry, Paige's dad, and I'm not gonna be dirty. I'm just gonna say I want to call it on the wrestler who I find most attractive.
It's actually toss-up for me because between a hard sell for me between Paige, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks, in all honesty. But
there's no denying that if you watch this, it's a great match to watch, whether you like wrestling. Yeah. I mean, I like wrestling, but you don't mean you could bring an outsider and say, watch this, all these birds are hot.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, here's the thing for me. When it was Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch in that, NXT women's title match, Unstoppable. My God, I got I forgot, the nature of wrestling. I got so wrapped up in the match. That's how good, these women are. But I'm going to say it's going to be Paige, Becky, and Charlotte.
I back you up on that, yeah.
Dave?
See, I want team, we fucked up our name at first, so team, we have a new name.
Okay.
I want them to win. But logic tells me the Bellas are going to win just because Bellas win, LOL.
Well, yeah, it's Nikki wins, LOL, usually. So, I'm going to put a different spin on this. I'd say we end up getting, if Team PCB doesn't win it, I'd say Sasha Banks, or at some point, gets the pin on Nikki Bella. I
have to ask Nick, by the way. Yes, what? I'm going there.
Oh,
Sasha or Paige? Pick one.
Sasha.
Ooh, controversial. Sorry, Sasha, I'm not saying you're not hot.
You're really putting me in a...
Dave. Dig up, stupid.
We're all essentially just playing a giant game of fuck, marry, kill at this point in time, but we're not naming it because we're all knowing who we're gonna kill, and it's Tamina, obviously.
Right. Well, if I can be completely stupid and just say this, and sorry, Paige's dad, and I mean this in a really respectful way, but I want her team to win simply because, sorry, Paige, and there's a real reason behind this. A, you're really attractive, and B, I like the fact that predominantly a very, very American sport has an English bird in it.
Oh my god. Well, look at the natural, or the international flavor. We have Becky Lynch, who, again, gorgeous. Hopefully,
and a ginger too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they don't cram it down our throats that Charlotte is Ric Flair's daughter. That just kind of irks me.
I was going to say something then, but I thought,
like they don't already do
that.
that.
Dad angry at me.
Like, how many times does she say Flair, or at least some sort of reference to her genetics?
Do you know what the weird thing is? Well, she's she's good. She's respectable and she is a valid talent, but this stigma hanging over. It's like, just completely distance yourself away from this.
As far as the announcer, yes, Charlotte's genetically gifted to the bit, blah, 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 blah. I know she does that in her promos. That's a whole different thing than... She doesn't outright name, I'm Ric Flair's daughter. I think when they talk about too much on commentary, I think that's when it kind of irks me.
Yeah.
Because
that's not her fault, but I think she should say to them, which is, can you put like a gap between me and your commentary on my family sort of history? Because she's great and everything, don't get me wrong, I'm not cheating.
Everybody gets it by now.
Saying, they're not helping her career by just going, hey, you know who she is, don't you?
You know what they should just do at this point, really? And like, if they really just want to totally solidify it, just have Rick come out with her.
Well, I mean, they did that when she won the title against Natalya in that tournament.
No, have Rick be her manager. Like when Shawn had Jose Lothario.
Well, I mean,
if I ever meet her and ask her for an autograph, and her dad's there, I'm just going to say, Rick, by the way, just ask him for an autograph. Why don't you do some quad starts, and then just wait for his legs to blow out, and then I can run away to the nearest exit.
Oh wow! But on the NXT commentary, they didn't. It's kind of in passing, but it wasn't mentioned that much as it is on between JBL, Cole, and Lawler. But anyway, so I'm going with.
Speaking of JBL, can I say something?
Yes.
One of these days, JBL is going to be way too drunk.
Oh no!
Never chill, and it's gonna happen. They're like, something's gonna slip through. It's gonna happen on a Raw because that's the one time they're live. It's not gonna be on a SmackDown. But he's just gonna be have a little bit too much to drink, and he's gonna be shilling for the network. It's $54.99. Why the fuck would you want to pay that?
I thought this was America. Isn't this America? I thought it was America. Sorry.
Anyway, so
fuck you, Maggle.
God, I wish you would say that. I really wish you would say that.
I may live on the same island nation as Paige's family.
Down. Go to hell.
But everything we're saying right now makes us all targets. You know that, right? We're all dead men walking right now.
Bring it. So, okay, so I've got Team PCB. Dave?
Yeah.
Bella's win. LOL, bro. Bella's win.
All right.
Let's be honest. I think it's a foregone conclusion, isn't it? Really.
All right. So.
You know who wins this match? Perverts.
All of us.
Perverts.
The fans.
Do your voice from Family Guy about the weird pedo. And big up this match, Brandon. Come over, you big son bitch, with your sexy arms.
Look, as far as we're winning and this is a big win for NXT because we're seeing, Sasha Banks and Charlotte and Becky Lynch on SummerSlam. And Sasha.
I would like to think, though, by the way, when I get killed by Paige's dad, and I would like to think that you will do a pilgrimage to my country and see my tombstone with my epitaph, and it just says, Paige's dad killed him. And you could be standing there holding your hands beneath your groins and just going, not in a creepy way, that's what you do when you're at funerals, just going, it's true, he did.
Was stabbed to death by the Knight family.
And nothing would come of it because, that picture of Ricky Knight looked like a Don in the Mafia.
They do. Like I said, man, and the way she made it seem like her family, they made it seem like they're a crazier British version of the Hart family.
Oh God, and that's crazy.
But can I just say something really honest? I don't mean to, try and restore the fact that I don't want to be killed by her family. But I would like to say
That's
this
not
because
ship- a
it's
ship
true,
sailed, man.
which is, WWE is such a big, all-American pie, product that I have to say, generally really, really impressed that Paige is such a big, important part of it, and she's from England. I really
I
like
know,
that.
big
I
fan.
know. It's not like you have anybody else from your country in any sort of major prominence on this pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
We all get scared and play football.
Anyway, all right. So
We've had an Englishman predominantly placed in WWE for the past 5-6 years or so.
Yeah, but he's not a bird and he's not really fit. Sorry.
Well, and it's not like they've really done fuck all with him at times. But anyway, I want to go for the title because I want to save the big headliner for last. But we got Cena versus Rollins, title for title.
Oh, this is a really difficult one to call.
It seems last couple of pay, everyone seemed to who've gone up against Cena in the last couple of years, whatever, have had a parody shirt. Rollins broke Cena's nose, and side tangent for those that were celebrating the fact that Cena got hurt and thought he might miss SummerSlam. Please go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is like, again, Wolverine level healing game.
My God.
Yeah. Whether you like him or not, I think it's safe to say that Cena is a stalwart of this sport right now, and quite frankly, you cannot take him for granted because he'll kick your ass. He will surprise you. Even in an off-season.
It also goes to show that John Cena is a big enough celebrity where he could find somebody that can, do emergency rhinoplasty and have him back on TV in 2 weeks.
And I have a C Nation sticker on my laptop right now.
Okay. So, and this is going to be, I know this is, WWE taken from ROH a little bit and I hope they do this. I'd say Seth Rollins. I honestly see him walking out with both titles and just gravitating just more heat to him.
Seth Rollins final round. Just saying.
I've said it before on this show. I believe Ric Flair should be the only person to win the world championship 16 times. Should be the only 16-time world heavyweight champion.
I think we should have Ric Flair running England, and we would never have a recession again. Just saying.
No, well, actually, no, he would have a recession because you'd be in a deficit because he would spend his money on spilt liquor.
No, Ric Flair would just print banknotes.
With his face on it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I'd buy them.
I'd buy them, too.
I'm sure there's currency.
Excuse me, Mr. Wade. Would you like a pint? That's
profiling.
Not legal tendency in this country, but it's got Ric Flair on it. Who the fuck is he? Then I put my arm on the bar and just go, and let me tell you and educate you. And you just go like, oh, Dave, all drinks are on the house.
I could see it. I'd Ric Flair is styling and profiling would ruin England.
Custom made from head to toe.
Yeah. So
I'd rather take Ric Flair over fucking Donald Trump.
Thank you.
60-minute man.
Yep. So I'm taking Rollins. Brandon.
I gotta go with Rollins because I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, Ric Flair should be the only 16-time WWE champion. Seth Rollins.
Dave.
I'm calling John Cena. No, seriously, I'm calling Cena. In fact, Brandon, and you, Nick, as well. I don't know what your English football team is. Right, I'm calling Cena on this fight, and if I lose, I will buy you both an English football team shirt of your choice.
Dave gets drunk and wants to
I'm right. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I think Cena's cool. Sorry.
You were right when we had, Cena owns 3 and we got Cena wins LOL.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got
I'm magic, bitches. I'm magic.
It's true. You don't bet against Big Match Johnny.
And I'm not drunk, you wanker.
I feel like I just hope this is, the big push for Rollins, and he's gonna look at me, I got both belts. What now, bitches?
Exactly, but that's why I'm going the other way. Because how good would it be? You got both belts, wicked and shit like that. But wouldn't this make, it even more interesting if Cena beats him? And they can elongate, this fight and shit.
I think if Cena beats him though, there's no going back for Rollins. Like Rollins, like
I disagree.
Then,
I think it'd be like, like a good old-fashioned boxing movie, and Cena beats him.
But here's the thing: I don't believe Rollins has been that bad as a champion where he believes to lose the championship.
I don't, but I have to say this, which is I still think, regardless of his age and all the stuff he's done, I still think that Cena is a better wrestler. Just me. He can take the fucking hits.
I don't think. Look, in ring, as far as in-ring talent goes, Cena is a great talent, but I mean,
Rollins is just.
Rollins did a moonsault of a
Rollins
fat guy.
is an animal. I know that, but you got to remember this you got to look at this right.
Shit,
like
you can
this.
only get away with on the indies.
Yep. All right.
Right,
So
you got to look at it like this, which is, it's who's better, who's not, who's got the stamina to go the full round. It's an event. It's an event. It never plays out how you think it is. So I'm sorry, people. And next week, when I'm gonna lose, you can openly call me Susan and slap my ass sideways. But I'm calling Cena. Just saying.
all right. So
I will do no such thing. I will congratulate you for your clever prognosticating skills.
I will begrudgingly say nice one, Dave. I won't be too happy. So
don't get me wrong.
Totally
I
think you should
don't
just do the
like
John Cena
Cena
thing,
over
though.
him. I'm just
but
saying.
you're just saying the power of Cena wins. LOL is too strong.
John Cena.
God, I'm gonna edit that.
And if he does win, I'm going to stand up in my room with it on the WWE network, and everyone else in the house is going to laugh at me. I'm just going to go, fucking C-Nation, bitches, in your face, Charlie Murphy.
In your face, Charlie Murphy.
So, right. Let's pretend we did that. That's a thing that just happened.
All right. So,
seriously though, you get what I'm calling it, which is
Yeah.
it's not going to be a whitewash. It really isn't.
Right.
Cena has a chance. That's all I'm saying.
So, and now the real headliner, the real main event, our Lord and Savior, Mr. Brock Lesnar.
Glory, glory, Brock Lesnar.
That was so classic. And the next day, he's just working security at ESPN, and you don't question it because he's Brock Lesnar.
No,
he does whatever he wants.
Savior does what he wants.
Yes, he can go on a day off.
You could flag a cab in New York, right? And Brock Lesnar would turn up in the cab, and you just get in and just go, "Hi, it's Brock Lesnar." Oh, he's multitasking.
Oh no, Barry. Yeah, he would come in and just take your cab, and you wouldn't question it because he's Brock Lesnar. He can go in on a day off and work ESPN security gate, and you just don't question it. He does what he wants. Yep. I mean, this pretty much, the fact that they've had Undertaker basically have to kick this man in the dick to get an advantage.
I like this, though. You know why? Because it kind of makes it feel like they're bringing back that old kind of heel Undertaker.
Well,
I'm not expecting him to come out on a motorcycle,
but he did that, but he got booed, and it's one of the first times I've heard Undertaker boo like that in a long ass time, if you think about it. But just the fact that he's had to kick Brock Lesnar in the dick. He turns into Vegeta from the second Cooler movie, Abridged. He keeps kicking me in the dick.
Quick,
really
random fact question. How old is Lesnar and how old is The Undertaker? Because The Undertaker's like 50, isn't he?
Lesnar is, I believe, about 40?
No, I think Lesnar's still in his late 30s, like
30s,
39.
Okay.
Maybe, I'm not
totally sure. That's relevant. I was just like, if I was a bookie, that would be what I was looking upon my scorecard for about who should win and the odds I should give. That makes sense.
How do you call this? I mean, again, with the fact that they've had Undertaker basically have to low blow this man to get the advantage on him.
Yeah. See, I have a way to call this, and this is how it makes sense. The Undertaker doesn't... You always book wrestling with what happens next. Oops, I accidentally turned on my Xbox.
Shit.
Now.
Xbox off. Sorry.
Too
You're
close
welcome.
to the microphone, or too close to the button.
Damn.
Let's turn that off. Okay. So yeah, what happens
next?
That's what you think when you think of the Undertaker. The Undertaker's next match is WrestleMania. The Undertaker's not going to be on Raw the next day to continue this feud. So the Undertaker has to go out with a win. Undertaker beats Brock Lesnar. He's going to have to cheat to do it.
But it's basically going to be one of those situations where he beats him, but it wasn't completely clean. So Brock Lesnar does finally get pinned after however, long it's been since he was last beat clean. But it was, underhanded tactics that Taker had to go to.
Or they go the the Rocky ending and they just knock each other out.
On the card, you think?
Just a wash.
Yeah, draw. They incapacitate each other.
I'm going to call Lesnar because of the whole, Undertaker punching him in the dick last time. So it's like, it's it's
my
payback
point being
time.
is this is the one time where Brock Lesnar completely destroying the Undertaker just isn't the best thing for business.
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll destroy him, but I will definitely say I think he'll win.
And this is also me saying I don't think this is the Undertaker's last match, because I do think the Undertaker will, if WrestleMania is going to be in Dallas, the Undertaker is going to definitely want to wrestle in the state of Texas and go out then.
It's going to be literally the last ride for the Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Booking wrestling, what happens next?
Gets his win back over Lesnar for breaking the streak, and then it's one last WrestleMania for him, and that's it.
Okay.
Maybe a Royal Rumble appearance, and then he gets out, and that sets up his final WrestleMania.
The final one, all right?
No, I say Lesnar because of their previous history and feuds, but by a hair beat, if that makes sense.
You got to look at it. The Undertaker has never beaten Lesnar at a pay-per-view. Never beaten him in the big match. I think that's not something they let him retire without doing.
Oh, you're right. I remember that because
in the big match.
Brock beat him in the Hell in a Cell. Beat him, at that No Mercy, that biker chain match that set up the Buried Alive. So
I'll call this right. Lesnar wins. Undertaker tries to do something that's cheap, but Lesnar overcomes it. Wins in the final third of the match by being just a good old-fashioned, straight wrestler. And
City, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets up and he's all banged up and shit and stuff like that. But no, I'm saying Lesnar. I mean, I love the Undertaker. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But I'm calling Lesnar.
One of the most respected guys in the locker room.
Yeah.
In all of wrestling, actually, one of the most respected men that has ever.
Plus, my favorite person to play is WWF Arcade because I can do dragon punches and throw tombstones at people. Sexy.
The WrestleMania arcade game, awesome. Yes, All right, so we've pretty much gone over the whole card. I know I went completely nerdy with that, Dragon Ball Z abridged reference, but it just what I thought.
The cooler reference was super nerdy. That's super nerdy.
I stand by it, by the way, people. If I lose on the matches I called, I will buy you both a shirt. Nick, I'm buying you a Liverpool shirt because they're the greatest team in the world. Maybe a Bristol Rovers shirt. And
you should have to buy him. You should have to buy him a Chelsea shirt or.
No, why would I do that? I have a Chelsea shirt in my toilet right now. I used to wipe my ass with.
I'll tell him that one.
All right, we've hit. My God, we've gone over so much. We've been literally on a call for 4 hours.
Yeah, but it's a good week. Well, that's why.
We've been on a call for 4 hours. Like I said, we get the banter out, and
Yeah. Anyway, so Ronda Rousey's next fight. You want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I think we should touch on it before we go. It's going to be in January. Holly Holm was obviously the number one contender. The Cyborg fight is still a long ways away if it's ever going to happen.
Right.
But Holly Holm is next in line to be destroyed by Ronda Rousey. It's far too early to call it, but January 2nd, New Year's Day is the big is she's going to be Ronda Rousey's going to lead off a marquee UFC event, I think. Let that sink in for a second. A woman. UFC usually trying to schedule these big events around New Year's, Super Bowl, around, generally, big occasions in the calendar.
Right.
She's
Around
gonna
4th of July, things like that.
Yeah, 4th of July weekend, Memorial Day weekend. She's gonna headline the first big event of 2016. Pause. Let that sink in. A woman is the face of mixed martial arts. That's usually a big UFC marquee main event. I mean, if you go back through the history of their January 1st, their New Year's shows, of look who's been on those cards. Some big names have been on those cards.
Yeah, but that's good. I'm not saying you're saying it's not, but that's good because, it means we come a long way with respect.
That's amazingly excellent.
All right.
I know I talked about having her wanting to do the stadium show with Connor. Mm-hmm. That's probably never actually really a thing anyway. But that's the next best thing for her, I think. Apart from a stadium show, her headlining one of the UFC's marquee dates in the calendar. Big news. And it's big for Holly Holm too. Holly Holm's, no slouch as well. But I just think the Ronda machine's gonna keep going.
Rolling, yeah. I mean, Miesha Tate's kind of she's disappointed that she's not getting the next fight.
No, she's not. But it's been the third time.
Mm-hmm. So you
really want to see them?
Yeah, they really want to see them.
Third time's a charm.
Who knows?
I don't think so. With the streak Ronda's on right now, incredible.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've touched on that. Iron Sheik tweet of the week.
No, I don't have one. I don't.
Say fire.
Do you want me to do research for one? I really didn't do.
You could talk about how crap your headset is. That would work.
Yeah, research one quick, and
I hate this whole show.
It's been a weird day, man.
I'm like, if I had to explain this show, I'm like literally limping through the end. Like I wanted to put the bullet in my head 2 hours ago.
It's raining outside right now where I'm at, so it's one of those wonderful.
Lucky bastard.
I thought I had something better to do tonight. I'm gonna go play Madden, man. Let's just go.
Just end it. No Iron Sheik.
Just John Cena us and let's. That's what I'm telling you. That John Cena ending would have been.
All right.
Perfect.
Well.
Play Rocket Man, Nick.
like honestly, yeah. Just end it. Honestly, no plugs or anything or.
Oh yeah, you want to do plugs.
And then we'll just wrap up.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
All right. So. You want me to go first, or we're just?
Yeah, whoever goes. Somebody, I don't care.
All right, I'll go. So I'm over on YouTube at the Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm on Twitter at Gaming Pegasus 187. I'm on Xbox Live and Wii U at Pegasus 187. Instagram, same thing. Supercard, same thing. I'm all over the place. I'm in the Wrestling Revolution Facebook group. I'm, over on I Got Gameplay some weekends. I just did Untitled Movie Show. I might be on there various points. I don't know. Whenever Miguel needs me to host the show, so I'll be on. I Got Gameplay, all that. I'm everywhere. Dave,
you can find me at Longways Post 1975, and you can find me at Dave Wade on Facebook. And I would just like to say, every time someone tells me that I shouldn't like wrestling, I have to overcome the strangest urge to punch them in the bollocks. There you go.
Love it. Brandon?
Excellent. So I've been doing the Twitch stream thing recently, and people have been watching it. So Brando Calrissian 420. That's how you could find me on the Twitch. So subscribe and then follow me, and then maybe you could subscribe to me, and then maybe I keep doing this. That'd be nice, right? You'd like that. I know I would.
I would, but I don't understand how to get Twitch to work.
It's okay. We'll teach you, but good. So, Brendan, I'll hope on the Twitters. That's where you can hear all my weird jokes that I try and make and all sorts of other things. Join our forum, Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
Support independent wrestling someplace out there. I guarantee you there's people trying to live their dream and getting by, barely getting by. So if you have the moment in your time and you see a sign up there, don't hesitate to take your kids out there, because I guarantee you it's an evening of entertainment. The entire family can enjoy and will enjoy, and you never know, you might, be affecting your child in a way. Your child.
Look after the little man, people.
I don't recommend it, but you never know, it might happen.
Might be an independent show where the Young Bucks super kick a kid.
That was a great story, by the way, too. I love the Young Bucks and everything they're doing. They're the best professional T-shirt salesmen to ever be in professional wrestling.
You want to pick a party to vote for this presidential election? Vote the Super Kick Party.
Vote Super Kick Party. Exactly. Yes, we're gonna start that. That's gonna be our official party. We are the Super Kick Party. We are pro Super Kicks for everybody.
Yep.
Meltzer drivers for all.
Yeah. All right.
Congratulations to Hiroshi Tanahashi for winning the G1.
Yep.
Never bet against Tanahashi.
Yep.
Never bet against Tanahashi. So that sets up the inevitable Tanahashi Okada Wrestle Kingdom 10, the rubber match.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's gonna be a match. Believe me, January is gonna be a big month. So strap in for that one. That's gonna be a thing. Support independent wrestling. I said that before. Again, people out there living a dream. To all the good brothers and sisters out there, be safe this weekend. It's starting to get a little crazier. Leaves are turning. It's weird.
Yeah, it's already end of August, September, man. We're going.
It's football season's upon us, folks.
Oh yeah.
It's
in
real.
both senses of the words.
Yes.
You're over there across the pond, or right here in the good old US of A.
Yes,
football
sir.
Season.
So, on that note,
chin chin, bitches. Chin chin.
For our executive producer Michael Burhan, for acting producer Nick Horaceck, for Long Boys Post Dave Wade, I am Brandon Liggan, saying good night. Good night. Hour 9 a.m. and I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. And with all this science I don't understand, it's just my job 5 days a week. I'm the Rocket Man. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise a kid. In fact, it's cold as hell. Be no one there to raise them, if you did. I didn't do the chorus, I know, but